Around Dodge City and in the territory on west, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad, the transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America. The story of a man who moved with it. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal.
I'd been up north for a few days. On the way back, I camped on the Pawnee River about 30 miles from Dodge, planning to ride on the next morning. During the night, however, my horse twisted his knee somehow, and it was going to be slower traveling than I'd figured. So I started out before dawn. It was just breaking day when I heard a rifle shot up ahead. A half hour later, I spotted a fallen horse and the figure of a man crouched by its head. As I came closer, however, the figure stood up, and I saw it wasn't a man at all, but a small boy. He held a rifle in his hand.
That's far enough, mister.
I'm a friend, son. Put down your rifle.
Hey, you sound like... Yeah, it's Marshal Dillon.
That's right. Who are you?
Oh, gee, I'm glad to see you, Marshal.
Now, you look familiar. We must have met somewhere.
I'm Yorkie Kelly.
Oh, sure, I remember now. That camp on the Arkansas.
That's right.
Oh, what happened to your horse, Yorkie?
Busted his leg. I shot him just a little while ago. And I've been crying, Marshal. That's why I couldn't see you good.
I don't know. Every man loses his horse once in a while, Yorkie.
It ain't the horse so much, Marshal. It's my paw.
Your paw? Well, where's he?
They rode off with him, Marshal. Right that way. You gotta go after him. Please, Marshal, please. Something will happen if you don't.
Now, wait a minute, Yorkie. Take it easy. Just tell me what happened. Who rode off with your paw?
I don't know, Marshal. It was dark. I couldn't tell.
Well, let's sit down here. Come on.
Okay.
Now, take your time and tell me the whole story, huh?
I was out hunting last night, Marshal. I sneaked off to shoot some coyotes.
Yeah?
And then I heard a lot of horses coming. So I hid and watched them. Those were our horses, Marshal. And 2 men were driving them. They stole them. I know they did.
Well, what about your paw?
He was with them. They stole him, too.
Well, how do you know?
It was dark, but I could tell. The way he was riding. He had his feet tied under his horse's belly. That's why.
Go on.
So I followed him till my horse went down. He busted his leg in a prairie dog hole. So I unsaddled him and then I shot him.
Where do you live, Yorkie?
Over there, about 5 miles.
All right. My horse is lame, but I'll get you home on him. Go get your saddle.
Well, what about my paw? Ain't you gonna go after him?
I'll find him, but I gotta have a fresh horse. All right, hand me your saddle. Now get up behind me. Come on. That's it. You think there are any horses left at your ranch, Yorkie?
We only had 6, and they were driving 5. Paul was on the other one.
Yeah, we're in a spot, then. My horse will never make Dodge. He's getting worse every step.
I got a little Indian pony out in the pasture. Oh, but he's not big enough for you.
Then you'll have to do it, Yorkie. When we get there, you'll catch your pony and you'll ride into Dodge.
What'll I do there, Marshal?
Go to the jail and tell Chester I sent you. You can leave your pony there and ride back with him. Tell him to bring some extra horses. We'll need them.
We'll be just like a posse, won't we?
Sure. And don't worry about your paw. We'll find him.
We got to. You tell Hattie where I've gone, will you, Marshal?
Hattie?
Hattie ain't my real ma. My real ma, she's dead.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Hattie's awful pretty, but I don't like her much.
Well, I hope you don't tell her that, Yorkie.
She ain't as old as Pa, but she's awful old.
Oh?
She must be 30 anyway.
I see. Well, how old's your pa?
65. But he's tough. You know, Marshal, I don't think Hattie's any good for a ranch.
Why is that?
Oh, I don't know. I just don't think she is. You'll see.
Yeah.
I'll ride real hard for Dodge, Marshal. We'll be tracking my Pa before you know it.
Sure we will, Yorkie. When we got to the pasture, I helped Yorkie catch his pony and got him started for Dodge. Then I rode on into the ranch, put my horse in the corral, and walked up to the house. Hattie came to the door. She was young, all right, and pretty. But she looked more like she belonged in a dance hall than on a ranch.
What do you want?
My name's Matt Dillon, ma'am. I'm from Dodge, U.S. Marshal.
Marshal Dillon.
I heard about Mr. Kelly from Yorkie. I ran into him out on the prairie.
Where is Yorkie?
Oh, he's gone to Dodge for some fresh horses, ma'am. He will be back by evening, and then we'll get started.
Get started?
Now, don't you worry any. We'll find him, all right.
What did Yorkie tell you, Marshal?
Well, last night he saw the men who stole your horses and took Mr. Kelly.
Where'd he see him?
He was out hunting, he told me, and he saw him ride by.
So that's where he was. Darn little scoundrel. He's always running off like that.
I don't understand, ma'am.
Well, that boy's got the wildest imagination.
What do you mean?
There's no trouble, Marshal. Kelly went along with those men just to show him the trail, that's all. He sold him those horses.
Oh?
Why, sure. Crazy Yorkie, always stirring things up. I'm going to hide him good when he gets home.
Yeah. Then you expect Mr. Kelly back soon, is that right?
Sure. He'll be back.
When, did he say?
Today, I suppose.
Who were the men he rode off with?
Well, I don't know their names. That's Kelly's business. I don't interfere. Come on inside, Marshal. I've got a pot of coffee on the stove. I expect you could use some.
We had coffee, and she insisted that I call her Hattie, and we talked for quite a while. It seemed she'd worked in a dance hall, all right, over in Abilene. Then old Kelly came along a few months ago and offered her a home and respectability. She jumped at it. According to her, Yorkie was the biggest problem she had, aside from the fact that living on the prairie wasn't exactly her idea of a good time.
Oh, I'm sick of it, Marshal. Nothing but work and wind and dust and that awful kid.
Are you planning to stick it out?
Oh, sure, I'll stick it out. Sure I will.
You'll get used to it in time.
Tell me, Marshal, how's Dodge these days? Pretty lively?
It was when I left.
You know, I was planning to move to Dodge once, before Kelly came along. I kind of wish I had.
Well,
Now.
one town's pretty much like another, Hattie.
Yeah. But the men are different.
Maybe.
I'd have got along real fine in Dodge. Wouldn't I, Marshal?
Sure. Why not?
More coffee?
No, thanks.
It'll be night before anybody gets back here, Marshal.
Yeah, I suppose it will.
You sure you don't want any more coffee?
No, thank you. I think I'll go see what I can do for my horse. He's pretty lame. I'll see you later.
I'll be here, Marshal.
I spent the day out by the corral doctoring my horse and taking it easy. It was after dark when Chester and Yorkie rode in, leading 3 extra horses. But I still didn't know whether we were going to need them or not. I told Chester how things stood while Yorkie was watering the animals, and then we all walked up to the house. I explained to Yorkie that we'd have to wait for morning in any case. Hattie was waiting on the porch.
Well, Yorkie, you ought to be real proud of yourself this time.
We're going after Pa in the morning, Hattie. Can't track him at night. At least that's what the marshal said.
That's right, Yorkie.
Now, don't tell me you're going to make a fool of yourself, Marshal.
Well, I hope not. Oh, excuse me. This is Chester Proudfoot, Miss Kelly.
How do you do, ma'am?
Yorkie, I could whip you
Now,
good.
wait a minute, Miss Kelly. He's done no harm. Your husband isn't back yet, and if he doesn't come in tonight, maybe we better go look for him.
How can he come home when they got him all tied up? Stole our horses, too.
That's a lie, Yorkie. Those men bought our horses, and your father just rode out to show them the trail.
Why are you saying that? You know Pa wouldn't sell our horses.
Don't you talk back to me. You shut up, that's all.
I won't shut up. You ain't my ma, and you can't
Now,
make me.
Yorkie, now, you take it easy. We'll find your pa. I promise you that.
Well, okay, Marshal. But you find him.
We will.
Well, Marshal, I figured you'd all be back here, so I fixed some supper.
Well, say, now, that's mighty kind of you, ma'am. I'm awful hungry.
And the Marshal also missed his dinner. Come on inside and we'll eat.
Well, I'm going around back and wash, Marshal. You don't have to if you don't want to, though.
Okay, Yorkie. We'll be along. Chester,
Yes, sir.
I don't think old Kelly's coming back tonight. We'll be riding after him in the morning.
Yes, sir. It sure is a lot cooler now the sun's down.
I don't know when I rode so much in 2 days. Dodge yesterday and clear out here today. I must have covered 1,000 miles.
Well, maybe you'll learn to ride. You keep this up, Yorkie.
Oh, now, Marshal Dillon.
Now, wait a minute.
Huh?
the
What's the
matter?
matter?
Now, here they are. The tracks go off this way.
Yeah, they got a whole day's start on us. We can't follow them at night.
We'll find him. We got to.
Hey, look up ahead there.
Where? What's a man? And he's afoot.
Yeah, come on.
It's Pa! It's Pa! Hey, Pa! Pa! Pa, you all right? We found you. Me and the Marshal and Chester. We found you.
Yorkie. Boy.
Get him some water, Chester. He's about played out.
Yes, sir.
Sit down, Mr. Kelly. Chester's getting you some water.
Here it is. Thank you. I needed that. They didn't give me any water.
Where are they, Mr. Kelly?
They've gone. Camped near here all day. Then they left me. So as I'd die out here. Looked like I got lost and starved. They had it all planned.
I knew it, Pa. I saw you with them and the horses. I knew it.
Have you eaten anything?
No, Marshal, they didn't feed me either. Wanted me weak so as I couldn't walk far when they left me.
Chester, dig out the jerky.
Yes. I'm old. Wouldn't have lasted very long. It was a good trick, blast 'em.
You mean they were going to leave you out here to starve just so they could run off with your horses?
No, it's more than that, Marshal. I'll have another drop of this water. One of them, fella called Webb Cutter. He's going to run off with my wife, Hattie. As soon as they sell the ranch, he is. Hattie'd own the ranch with me dead.
Oh.
I never did like her nohow.
Here, Mr. Kelly, chew on some of this.
Oh.
And I got some hard biscuits, too, if you want to soak them in the water.
Thanks.
I'll be all right once I get something in me.
Pa's old, but he's awful tough. Ain't you, Pa?
Yeah. And an awful fool, too, Yorkie.
Oh, that's all right, Pa. We're better off alone, you and me, anyway.
Who was the other man, Mr. Kelly?
Rourke, he called himself. Friend of Cutter's. He's going to get his share of the money off the sale of the ranch.
Did you know these men before?
No. Hattie knew him back in Abilene. So they said. They had it all figured out before we got married. Oh, Marshal, There's nothing worse than an old fool.
Well, you aren't the first man to be fooled by a pretty woman, Mr. Kelly.
I was lonely, that's all. And I thought Yorkie ought to have a mother. Sure picked a good one.
Just you and me, Pa. We don't need no woman around.
Well, there ain't gonna be one long. That's sure.
Look, Mr. Kelly, what did they do with your horses? They gonna drive them back to the ranch?
That's what they said. Only thing that bothered him was Yorkie here. They weren't sure he was asleep. Hattie said she'd take care of him.
I sure fooled them. Didn't I, Marshal?
Yeah, you sure did, Yorkie. But if they're headed back to the ranch, Hattie will tell them we're on their trail and they'll all run off. I got to stop them.
They got a couple of hours start on us, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah, I know, but those horses they're driving will slow them a little. Chester, you stay here. You can ride in tomorrow when Mr. Kelly gets his strength back. I'm going to take the horse Yorkie was riding on a fresh one.
I'll go with you, Marshal. I'll fight them.
No, Yorkie. You've done your part. You stay here with your paw.
Yeah, I'm the one that ought to go, Marshal, but I just ain't up at that kind of ride.
That's all right, Mr. Kelly. You take it easy and come on back when you can. I'll see you at the ranch.
Mr. Dillon,
You wouldn't have an extra horse, Chester, and you'd need it.
Yes, sir, that's true. Well, good luck.
Thanks. One thing in my favor was that Cutter and Rourke weren't riding as hard as I was. They didn't know there was any special hurry. I changed mounts every few miles, but along toward the end, one of the horses began to sull, and finally I had to leave him. It was just before daybreak when I came to the ranch. There were no lights on in the house, so I figured I'd beaten them after all. There was a room for my horse in the hay shed, and I put him in there and closed the door. Then I walked up to the house, hid behind a rain barrel near the porch, and waited. It was a half hour before they rode in. They put their horses in the corral and then came up to the house.
Take it easy, Cutter. She's awake. She's lighting a lamp back there.
What she need a lamp for? It'll be daylight in a minute.
She's your woman. Why don't you ask her?
She's my woman, and you remember it, Rourke. I seen you looking at her the other night.
One woman's just like another to me. They're all the same. They're all poison.
For you, Hattie's poison, all right. I'm telling you, Rourke.
But she's pretty. That's more than I can say for most.
You forget she's pretty.
Okay. There's something else about her I like.
What do you...
Well, I've been thinking when she sells this ranch, she gets a third, you get a third, I get a third.
That's right.
But whoever gets Hattie sort of gets 2/3, don't it?
You try that, Rourke, and I'll kill you.
I'm just joshing you. You really going to marry her, Cutter?
I told her I was, didn't I?
I didn't ask you what you told her.
Shut up. Here she comes.
Hello, Webb. Rourke.
What are you all locked up for? Old man Kelly ain't gonna come sneaking home.
Come on inside. Hurry up.
What's
We haven't
the
got much
matter?
time.
What's the matter with you, Hattie? You're all upset.
You'll be all upset, too, when you hear what I'm going to say.
You mean that's Marshal Dillon from Dodge?
It's just what I mean. He's got another man with him. A Chester something or other.
Well, I'll be... This fixes everything.
Why didn't you take care of that bratty kid like I told you?
He sneaked off to go hunting. He wasn't even here. So how could I help him?
And he ran smack into the marshal. Now we've really got our heads in a noose. Suppose the old man's dead when they find him.
Well, if he's dead, he can't talk, can he?
Oh, it's worse if he's alive. Blast you, Hattie. Can't you do anything right?
You're blaming me?
Who would I blame? I didn't put that marshal on our trail.
It don't matter now who did. What are we going to do?
We're going to have to get out of here fast. I'm all ready to go just as soon as I get a riding skirt on.
Wait. You ain't going nowhere.
What?
You heard me. We can't be dragging a woman around. You'd wear out in no time.
Now you're making sense, Cutter. We'd never get away with her holding us back.
You're going to leave me here, are you? You gonna let me face those people? You know I'll go to jail, don't you?
Oh, they won't do nothing to you. Tell them you got misled or something. They always go easy on women.
You're gonna run out on me.
Oh, now, Hattie, you'd be better off here. They'll let you go, and you can get on back to Abilene. And I'll come by as soon as they forget about all this.
Oh, come on, Cutter. We're wasting time. They could be here any minute now.
You cowards. You dirty, rotten
Now,
cowards.
Hattie.
Who is your mother,
That's
mister?
enough, Hattie.
I hate you. Go on, get out, both of you. I wouldn't have either one of you.
Either one of us?
You didn't think I cared, did you? I'd have made one of you shoot the other before I was through. Ties don't cut three ways, mister.
Now we all know, Cutter. What'd I tell you?
There, that'll hold you. Come on, Rock, let's go.
Dirty dog!
Ah, forget it, Hattie. Maybe I'll get to Abilene sometime. So long.
I'll fix you.
I should have known about you.
You gonna talk all day? Come on.
All right, get your hands up, both of you. Get them up in the air. And don't try anything.
Hello, Marshal.
You touch that gun and I'll kill you.
While you're killing him, what do you think I'll be doing, Marshal?
Don't try it. Either of you.
Hanging's bad, Marshal. I ain't going to hang.
You don't have to hang. Kelly isn't dead. We found him in time.
I don't believe you, Marshal. I think you've been here quite along. You ain't even seen Kelly.
Yeah. You just want to see us hang.
I'm telling you the truth.
Oh, no. Lawmen don't tell the truth. Not to fellas like us, anyway. Do they, Roy?
No, I don't believe they do.
Well, he can't kill us both, Roy. We'll draw at the same time.
I'm telling you, don't try it.
Why not, Marshal? Let's kill him, Cutter. No.
We killed him. We killed them both.
Now, give me the gun, Hattie. I said, give it to me.
Take it.
You shot Cutter, Hattie. Why did you do it?
I don't know, Marshal.
Did you do it to help me? Or because he was running out on you?
He's dead. What difference does it make?
It could be murder, Hattie.
You'll have to decide that, Marshal.
Yeah. Cutter might have killed me.
He might have. Well?
Go back in the house. You can wait in there.
Now they're both dead.
Do you care?
No. No, I don't care. What's going to happen to me, Marshal?
I don't know. I think I'll let Mr. Kelly decide that.
Where is he?
He'll be here tonight, probably. He's with Yorkie and Chester.
Marshal, will I go to jail?
I don't know, Hattie. Depends on Kelly.
He's a nice old man. He wouldn't hurt anybody. I'm sorry I got into all this. I wish I hadn't.
Marshal Dillon?
Yeah?
I just had a long talk with Hattie, Marshal.
Well?
She tried to kill me, you know. She had a hand in it.
She'll go to jail for it if you prosecute her.
I know. But, Marshal, I can't send anyone to jail. Not a woman. If she was a man, I'd shoot her, but...
What do you want to do, Mr. Kelly?
Yeah, I'll get her things and drive her to town, Marshal. I'll give her some money. And then Yorkie and I'll come back here. Yorkie will just have to grow up without a mother. And about me, it don't matter none.
All right, Mr. Kelly. I guess I wouldn't want to see her in jail either. We need women out here, good or bad. We need them. Is this everything, Chester?
Well, there might be more later when they finish sorting the mail. Hey, where's that telegram?
Oh, what telegram?
I thought I put it right on top. Let me take a look. Oh, yes. Here it is. Might be important.
Oh, we'll soon see. Well, it's from Bill Hickock.
Up in Abilene?
Yeah.
What'd you say, Mr. Dillon?
Teeters and Gridler headed for Dodge. Keep them there, but don't arrest them until I get there with murder witness. Or I'll write Washington all I know about you. Signed Hickock.
Oh, then Mr. Hickock's coming here, huh?
Now, that's what he says.
Well, how'll you recognize those two men, Mr. Dillon?
Yeah, I expect I'll recognize him all right.
Oh, you know them.
Yeah, we've met. Teeters and Gridler are gunmen, Chester. The kind who kill as easy as most men shake hands. Just about as often.
Too bad you can't just put them in jail.
Yeah. Well, we'll start meeting the trains.
There's one in at noon, sir.
Good. Then we'll meet it.
What'll we do if they are on this train, Mr. Dillon?
Nothing, Chester. I'll find them later and talk to them, but not in a crowd like this.
Yes, sir. You know, every time I see a train, I am just overpowered with the urge to travel.
Oh? Where to?
Anywhere. Anywhere but Kansas.
Well, I don't think you'd like it back east any better.
Why not?
You just have the urge to come out west again. I know your kind.
I suppose you're right, sir. But still, it'd be good to walk down a street that wasn't all heat and dust and that wasn't crowded with a lot of grimy men looking for trouble. And I wouldn't mind seeing some women, married women, with kids and parasols and
Wait a
Bibles.
minute, Chester. There they are.
Where?
They just got off the end car. Those two headed for the depot there.
One of them's tall?
Yeah. That's Teeters in the black hat. The other's Gridler. I'll just step around the corner here and see which way they head.
Yes, sir. There they are.
Yeah. Looks like they're going to the Dodge house. Now, let's follow them.
Yep, that's where they're going, all right.
Now, let's wait here. I'll let them get a room, and then I'll go talk to them.
But if you can't arrest them,
And I'll just try to make them feel welcome to stay in Dodge.
when do you think Mr. Hickock will get here?
Oh, be a couple of days anyway, Chester. Look, right now, I want you to go back to the depot and ask the ticket agent to let me know if Teeters and Gridler start to leave anytime. You can describe them to him.
All right, sir.
And then go to the stage office.
Yes, sir.
And go to all the stables, too. If they rent or buy any horses, I want to know about it right away.
I'll tell everybody.
Also, tell them to keep quiet about it. I'll be back at the office later, huh?
All right, sir.
What can I do for you, Marshal?
2 men came in here just a minute ago. One of them was tall, black hat. Well?
Well, what, Marshal?
You were here. Did you see him?
Those were gunmen. I could tell.
The tall one's Teeters and the other one's Gridler. Those the names they gave you?
Yes, but there'll be trouble if you try to arrest them here, Marshal. Can't you wait until they're outside in the street someplace?
No. What if they're after you?
I've got nothing to do with men like that, Marshal. There's no reason in the world that
Now,
they...
just take it easy. They never heard of you, and I'm not going to arrest them. But since you're a good, helpful citizen, maybe you can tell me what room they're in.
Certainly, Marshal, certainly. Number 25. Up the stairs and turn to your left.
Thank you very much.
Who is it? Who is it, I said? I'll open it, Gridler.
You can put your gun away, Gridler. I just came for a little talk.
And make your talk, Marshal.
No, I ain't polite, Gridler. Let him in. Watch him better inside, anyway.
Hello, Teeters.
What's on your mind, Marshal?
I'm just trying to think. Last time I saw you men was in, let me see, was it Tascosa?
Never mind all that, Marshal. Why are you here?
No, I heard you were in town. I thought I'd drop by and say hello.
News must travel pretty fast in Dodge. We ain't been here 15 minutes all told.
Well, maybe he was expecting us, Gridler.
I happened to be at the depot. I noticed you get off, so I followed you here.
All right. But we're not wanted, Marshal. Matter of fact, the judge up in Abilene just turned us loose. Wasn't no witness to that killing. Wild Bill tried to frame us, but didn't work.
Well, that just goes to show the law's fair to everybody, doesn't it?
Why'd you come here, Marshal?
Just to let you know that I'm still the law in Dodge and that I don't want any trouble here. With men of your sort, I always like to mention that.
We're not looking for trouble.
Good, good. And you're welcome to stay here as long as you like.
That's a funny thing to tell us.
It's an open town, Teeters.
Yeah, sure, Marshal. Sure it is, yeah.
And I'll treat you two just like anybody else. If you stay out of trouble, the town's yours.
Anybody who starts trouble won't be us.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'll be going now, gentlemen. Oh, there are some pretty sharp gamblers here. Don't let them take all of your money.
Oh, don't you worry about us, Marshal.
So long. There was no way of figuring how long Teeters and Gridler might stay in Dodge. If they took a notion to do some gambling, it might be a week or two, or they might move on in an hour. That night, however, they were still in town, Buck and Faro at the Alfraganza. Everything looked fine until Chester came into the office about 10 o'clock.
They're fixing to leave, Mr. Dillon. First thing in the morning.
Oh, how do you know?
Jim Bunch at the stage office. He just told me they came in and paid their fare to Sharon Springs on the morning stage.
Sharon Springs, huh? And then they're headed for Denver.
Looks like it, sir.
All right, Chester. Go tell Jim that I'm going to be on that stage tomorrow, too. If he likes, I'll ride shotgun for him. One of the boys can have a little time off.
I'll tell him, sir. But are you going all the way to Denver?
I'll follow him all the way to San Francisco if necessary. You can tell Hickock that when he shows up.
Too bad he won't be here before they leave.
And it'll be another day before he can get here. But that won't be too far behind us. Stage leaves at 8, right?
Yes, sir. I'll be there to see you off, Mr. Dillon.
Fine. We'll meet at the Dodge House for breakfast if you like.
All right, sir. The stage looks like it's all ready to go, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah,
I don't see Teeters and Gridler, though. They're not inside, are they?
I don't think so. No, they're not here yet.
Just about 8 o'clock. They should be here.
Well, it doesn't matter, Chester. If they've changed their minds, it's all to the good anyway.
Want me to go ask Jim Bunch if he's heard from them, Mr. Dillon?
No. Let's just wait here.
Oh, say, I forgot to tell you. Jim said the regular shotgun messenger has to go up to Sharon Springs anyway, but to thank you just the same.
No, good. Chester,
Yes, sir?
look up at the other end of the plaza there. Coming this way.
Well, I declare. It's Sam.
Yeah. Now what are they up to, I wonder?
Well, they can't be taking the stage if they're horseback.
No. Looks to me like they're fixed for a long ride, too.
Sure does, Mr. Dillon.
You're up early, Marshal.
Yeah. So are you, Teeters.
Cooler in the morning.
For traveling, it is.
So long, Marshal.
What's the matter? Did you lose all your money last night?
Yeah. Next time we'll follow your advice.
So long.
Will we go after him?
Chester, you stay here and explain things to Wild Bill. I'll be on their trail. As soon as they're out of sight, I'll get my horse. You can tell Jim I won't be taking the stage.
All right, sir.
I'll leave as clear a trail for Hickock as I can.
Yes, sir, I'll tell him.
I did my best to stay out of Teeters and Gridler's sight. But if they had suspicions of being followed and were watching their back trail, they'd have known I was there, all right. The land was flat, and we frequently crossed great patches of powder-dried dirt that smoked the air with dust under the horses' feet. After an hour, they began to swing slowly north. And by noon, it was clear that for some reason they were riding in a great half-circle. They'd left Dodge, headed west, and sure enough, just after sundown, they rode back into town from the east. I waited until dark, then came in. Put my horse up. The office was empty, so I walked up to Delmonico's, where I found Doc having supper.
Oh, Matt! Oh, sit down.
Oh, thank you, Doc.
Oh, you look hungry enough to even eat this food.
Yeah, it's been a long time since breakfast, Doc.
Yeah, the man ought to eat 3 meals regular, Matt. You'll get run down if you don't.
Yeah, sure, Doc. Only sometimes you have to eat when you can.
Oh, that's so. Did you have a hard day, Matt?
Yeah, I've been riding, Doc. Riding around in circles.
Oh, is that what the government pays you for? Oh, I'd like to have your job, man.
I wouldn't be too sure of that, Doc. It isn't always this easy.
Yeah, I know, Matt. Chester told me. What happened? You lose them?
No, I didn't lose them. As a matter of fact, they're coming in here right now.
Huh? What do you mean they're coming? Those two?
Yeah,
They're pretty hard-looking fellas.
they are.
Evening, Marshal.
Oh, hello, Teeters. Gridler.
Marshal.
This is Dr. Adams, gentlemen.
How are you?
Hi, Doc.
How are you?
Well, what's on your mind?
You are, Marshal.
What?
That was you trailing us all day, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Why?
I didn't want you to get lost.
That's a lie.
Then let's say that I didn't want you to get into any trouble.
You going to tell us what it's all about, Marshal?
Well, you're not exactly the most reputable citizens in Kansas, and I just wanted to have an eye on you, that's all.
You sure do.
Because like I told you, you'd keep out of trouble, and you're welcome to stay here.
Just remember one thing, Marshal. There's 2 of us.
And next time you follow us, you might not come back.
Well, taking chances like that's part of my job, Mr. Teeters.
It's a poor job, then.
Yeah, sometimes I think so, too.
Come on, Teeters, let's get out of here.
Here.
Well, they're not very polite, are they?
No, but they're smart. Smart enough to figure something's wrong, anyway.
Well, you think they might bolt, Matt?
It depends on how smart they really are, Doc. Right now, they're so curious they might stay around just to see what it's all about.
Oh, Mr. Dillon?
Oh, hello, Chester. Pull up a chair.
Well,
Pull up a chair, Chester.
I won't have time. We better get right over to the depot.
Oh, why? What's happened?
Well, sir, I saw him ride back into town. The first thing they did was go to the depot and ask about a train.
Oh, were you there?
No, sir, the agent came and told me like he'd promised.
Train goes at 7:30, doesn't it?
Yes, sir, and it's just about that now. I've been looking everywhere for you.
Doc, if that waiter ever does come around, tell him to hold a steak for me, will you? I might just be back for it.
Sure, Matt. Yes, sir. And good luck.
Yeah, thanks, Doc. Come on, Chester.
Are you going to go on the train with him, Mr. Dillon?
No. Hickock's sure to be here in the morning, Chester. If I can keep him off this train tonight, I doubt they'll try anything else till tomorrow.
Yeah, but you can't arrest him.
Yeah, I know.
Well, then,
I'll just face him off, Chester. So keep your head up.
Yes, sir.
Now, there they are. Come on.
You come just to say goodbye, Marshal?
Not exactly, Teeters.
Oh?
You can take the train tomorrow if you like, but not this one.
Why tomorrow?
Well, I've got orders to keep you in sight till then.
Orders from who?
It doesn't matter. But you have your choice. You can have the run of Dodge tonight, or you can spend it in jail.
I know you talk pretty loose for just one man, Marshal. Your friend there doesn't look like a gunman.
Well, now, you can't always tell by looks, mister.
I can. You said you didn't want trouble, Marshal, but you sure starting it.
There won't be any trouble. You do what I tell you.
And if we don't?
I'll kill the first one of you that moves for that train.
You can die that way, Marshal.
Maybe. But you won't both get on that train.
Gridler.
You know me. You know I'll do it.
We can still make it, Gridler.
No. It's not worth it. We can go tomorrow.
All right. Marshal, tomorrow it'll be different.
Yeah, sure. Tomorrow it'll be different. Chester and I met the noon train next day. But as I'd figured, Hickock didn't get off it. I questioned the man who rode the baggage car, and sure enough, Wild Bill and his witness had hidden out there the whole trip. As soon as the crowd left the depot, we walked down to the car, crawled under it, and pounded on the door on the other side.
Who is it?
It's Dillon, Bill. Open up.
Oh, jump up, Matt.
Come on, Chester.
Oh, Matt, how are you?
Oh, fine, Bill, fine. Oh, this is Chester Proudfoot.
How do you do, Mr. Hickock?
Chester. Sam, come over here. This is my witness, Sam Trimble.
Howdy.
Mr. Trumbull.
Are you still here, Matt?
Yeah, but we better move fast.
Matt, that judge up at Abilene's crazy, but he's still the judge. And he says Trimble here has to identify Teeters and Gridler before I arrest him this time.
But, Bill, they can't be tried twice for the same crime.
I know that, Matt, but I'm after them for a second murder they did. I'd suggest we just go kill them, but I've been waiting a long time to see these two hung, and by glory, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, you will if you're lucky. Tell me, Mr. Trumbull, do these men know you on sight?
Well, I'll tell you how it was, Marshal. I was in the stable where I work, over in Abilene, that is, and a fella come in for his horse, and I went to get it for him. I heard some shooting, and then two men ran right past me. I got a good look at them, all right. They just killed that fella, too.
You mean you don't know Teeters and Gridler?
I never heard of them, Matt. There's no pictures of them I know of, but he can identify them when he sees them.
Yeah, sure, but what about them? Will they recognize you, Mr. Trimble?
Gosh, I don't know, Marshal. I hope not. They'd kill me on sight, wouldn't they? I hadn't thought of that.
Well, you just do what we tell you to, and you'll come to no harm, Trimble. Dillon and I are a fair match for those two. If they start any trouble, we'll be on them so fast they'll die on their feet.
Taking a terrible chance. I hadn't thought of that.
Easy, Trimble, easy. An hour from now, we'll have them in jail with their teeth pulled.
Sure hope so, but How are you going to do it?
Just go find them, that's all.
As soon as we get them locked up, I'll buy you the biggest steak you ever ate, Trimble. Come on, let's go.
I took Hickock and Trimble over to the Texas Trail, where we decided we'd wait while Chester located Teeters and Gridler. Then we'd just walk in on them and get it over with fast. I introduced the two men to Kitty, and we ordered a couple of drinks for Trimble, who was getting jumpier by the minute.
What are you two heroes doing? Getting this poor man drunk enough to fight him?
Not exactly, Miss Kitty. He just lacks faith in us, that's all.
I wouldn't have come if I'd thought about it. I sure would.
Look, Trimble, it isn't often a man has both mine and Matt Dillon's guns behind him. You're as safe as you'd be in church.
I don't go to church.
Here, Mr. Trimble. Have another drink, huh?
I will in a minute. I'm going out back first.
Whatever you're up to, it's making him mighty nervous.
Yeah. Well, I'll admit he usually leads a quieter life. He'll brag big, though, once he's back in Abilene.
Tell me, Bill, do you plan to stay in Abilene long?
Oh, I don't know, Matt. Charlie Utter keeps talking to me about Deadwood.
Oh, it's as dusty up in Deadwood as it is in Kansas.
Yeah, I know, Miss Kitty, but Charlie thinks some of that dust is made of gold.
Hey,
What's that?
I don't know, but I'm going to find out.
I'll go with you, Matt.
All right, stay in here, everybody.
It was Teeters and Gridler. I was just crossing the street and saw them run out of the alley there.
All right, come on.
There he is.
Yeah, it's Trimble. What happened, Trimble?
They shot me. I was going to run away.
And he got scared and ran right into him.
We shouldn't have let him alone at all.
They said they saw me with you, Mr. Hickock. They said that's all they needed to know. And they shot me.
Chester, go get the doc. Hurry.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, Trimble. They were the men who killed that fellow in Abilene. You recognized them all right?
No, I never saw these two before. It wasn't them.
What?
I knew I shouldn't have come. I got killed for nothing.
Trimble. Trimble.
That's no use, Bill.
Yeah. He got killed for nothing, all right. They must have figured he was a witness to some murder they did commit.
Well, anyway, they'll hang for Trimble now.
Let's find him before they get out of town, Matt.
We'll find him even if they do. Hickock and I walked out of the alley and into the plaza. There were a couple of citizens who'd heard the shooting and had seen Teeters and Gridler run out of the alley. Told us that they'd gone into the Dodge house, and we followed. From the look on the clerk's face as we went past him and up the stairs, I knew that they were in their room. When we reached it, Bill stood on one side of the door, and I on the other.
Think they'll fight, man?
Well, let's ask them.
I told you they'd follow us, Teeters. Well, we're trapped sure.
Shut up, I said. And it got us to the street on the lawn.
Open the door. Throw your guns out. There's no use trying to fight.
There's no use in hanging neither, Marshal. You can just take us the best way you can.
No. Our chance hanging. We got off once.
Then you get away from that door.
I've listened to you enough. I ain't facing Dillon and Hickock both now.
Relax. Hold your hands clear of that door.
Teeters, you shouldn't have...
Don't you try to convince us.
Wait, Matt. Could be a trick.
think so, Bill. Look, on the floor there.
Yeah, he's been hit all right.
Well, they're both dead.
Well, I sure never expected this.
Saved us doing it, maybe.
Riddler lost his nerve, blast him. Shooting was too good for these two. I wanted to see him hung.
How things don't always work out, Bill.
Well, they sure don't. Not lately, anyway. Matt, I think I'll go up to Deadwood with Charlie out of right soon, after all. Maybe I can find me a little peace and quiet.
You know, Mr. Dillon, on evenings like this, I feel kindly towards everybody.
Is that so, Chester?
Yes, sir. It's so peaceful. There's no cowboys hoorahing up and down Front Street, no shooting, no fights, almost no nothing.
Well, that doesn't upset you, does it?
Oh, my, no, Mr. Dillon. I like it this way. Puts me some in mind of Texas.
Texas?
Well, now, Mr. Dillon, I don't mean there isn't some dust raising done down there from time to time. Why, sometimes Waco don't cool off from sunset to sunup.
Is that so?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to walk down to the Texas Trail, Chester, and have a beer with Kitty.
Well, sir, I'll just sit here and think some.
All right.
But I'll come get you if anything happens.
Yeah, you do that, Chester.
Hello, Matt.
Ah, Kitty.
I was kind of looking for you.
You got time for a beer?
Sure. You want to go over to a table?
Oh, the bar's cooler. Sam, set up some beer for me and Miss Kitty, will you?
Why, sure, Marshal.
There you are. It's kind of quiet in here tonight.
The whole town's quiet, Matt. Too hot for trouble, maybe.
Sometimes heat brings trouble, Kitty. Makes people ouchy.
Kitty, bring your beer and come over to the table. I need more luck.
Sorry, Webb. I can't right now.
Of course you can. Come on.
I said I'm sorry, Webb.
Your friend will wait for you.
Webb, this is Marshal Dillon. Webb Johnson.
How are you?
Marshal, you won't mind if I take Kitty away for a while, will you?
I think Miss Kitty gave you her answer.
I heard what she said. But maybe she feels kind of obligated to stay, seeing as you're a marshal.
I don't figure my being a peace officer has anything to do with what Miss Kitty decides.
Maybe not. But most girls know which side of their bread the butter's on.
You better get back to your poker game.
Okay. But come over to the table, Kitty, when you're free.
How long's he been around here?
A couple of days, maybe more.
You know anything about him?
Not much. Plays poker mostly. He doesn't drink too much.
Gambler?
Well, I don't know if that's his profession, but he likes cards, and he's lucky. Figures he has quite a way with women, too.
Oh? With you?
He tries. We were talking last night. He offered me a job.
Job?
He says he's bought out the Longhorn Saloon. Wants me to come over and be his hostess there. Figures maybe some trade would follow me over.
So he bought out the Longhorn, huh?
Mm-hmm.
He must have some money with him.
He's not short.
Yeah, he's talky enough to cause trouble sooner or later.
Don't mind him, Matt.
Yeah. Well, I better get back to the office.
Will I see you later, Matt?
No, I don't think so, Kitty. I gotta work. Good night. You sure you don't want to eat, Chester?
No, sir, thank you kind of, Mr. Dillon, but I already ate.
Oh.
I think I'll just walk on down to Depot, maybe.
The depot?
Yes, sir.
Chester, what in the world do you do down there?
Oh, Mr. Hightower and me just sort of sit around and socialize. Then besides, there's a train due in. Sometimes there's all sorts of things.
All right, Chester. I'll see you later.
Yes, sir.
Now, Jimmy, cook me up some potatoes, will you? 3 or 4 eggs and some of that side meat.
Yes, sir, Marshal.
It's the marshal, ain't it?
Well, good morning, Mr. Webb.
Unless you're expecting company, you could ask me to sit with you.
Well, I don't mind.
Well, thank you.
How'd you make out last night?
In the poker game or with Kitty?
At cards.
Seems like everything I say sets you on edge, Marshal.
Maybe.
Well, I'll tell you, Kitty and I didn't quite hit it off, but I done fine at stud. Those boys, Ashton and Trasker, they play cards like boys. Afraid to push their luck.
Sometimes that's good.
Not at poker, it ain't. Leastwise, I walked home last night with their money in my pocket. Over 500.
Ah, that's good winnings.
It wasn't hard.
Miss Kitty tells me that you bought the Longhorn.
News traveled, don't it?
You a gambling man?
I don't make my living playing cards, if that's what you mean.
You going to keep on the same boys that are at the Longhorn now?
No, Marshal, I'm not. I've got my own way of doing things. Those boys might not understand. So I've got 2 dealers coming in this morning from St. Louis. We worked together before.
Here's your breakfast, Marshal. Fried up some onions for good measure. They kind of bring out the flavor of the eggs some.
Oh, thank you, Jimmy.
You want beer, coffee?
Coffee, I think.
Bring the pot over. I'll have some, too.
Yes, sir.
You don't like me much, do you, Marshal?
No.
Why not? Why don't you like me?
Well, for one thing, you talk too much.
That may be.
Let me give you some advice, Mr. Webb. This is an easy town to get killed in.
So I've heard.
So see to it that the Longhorn runs smooth and easy, huh?
Speaking of gambling.
Gambling or girls.
Well, now, Marshal, there's a lot of money in Dodge these days, what with the trail herds and the buffalo and all. I'd feel kind of bad if I didn't get my share of it.
The money that changes hands in the Longhorn is your business as long as it's honest. You just tell your St. Louis dealers to remember that.
You're mighty preachy for Marshal, ain't you?
I'm not interested in the morals of the citizens individually. But when it affects the peace of the whole town, it is my business.
Well, now, from the way you talk, I don't imagine you'd be interested in the percentage deal. Or would you?
Get out of here. And remember what I said.
Why, sure. Well, I'll tell you one thing, Marshal. That star on your chest don't scare me one bit. Well, good morning, Miss Russell, and how are you this morning?
I swear, I don't understand that Webb Johnson.
Sit down, Kitty. Have some coffee.
That's why I came by. I figured you'd be eating when there was no one at the office.
Chester's down at the depot waiting for the train.
Anything important, Matt?
No, just the train. He likes trains.
Matt, I had a long talk with Webb last night.
No?
Yeah, after the game broke up, he bought me some drinks.
He say where he was from, Kitty?
Missouri.
Mr. Dillon? Mr. Dillon.
Yeah, what is it, Chester?
Oh, you should have seen it, Mr. Dillon. My gracious alive. The train no sooner come to a stop. Hello, Miss Kitty. The train no sooner come to a stop and they begun getting off. Must be 15 or 20 of them.
15 or 20 what?
Girls, Mr. Dillon, girls. In no time at all. The depot platform was just plain crawling with them.
Well, they're going to work at the Longhorn.
The Longhorn?
That's right, Chester. Webb Johnson's bought it. Those are new hostesses.
Yeah, they're from St. Louis, Chester.
Oh, my goodness, Mr. Dillon, it fair gives a man the shakes to see so many women all at one time.
Well, they'll keep, I think. You can go on back to the depot if you want. I'll see you later.
Well, don't you want to come look, Mr. Dillon?
Like he says, Chester. They'll keep.
And it was just 2 nights later that the Longhorn opened, with drinks on the house. First come, first served. It was about the biggest night Dodge had seen since the Opera House was built. Webb Johnson stood with his back to a bar that was loaded with hard-boiled eggs, fried onions, dried beef, pickles, while 6 bartenders tried to keep the thirst of Dodge in check. Chester and I sat back where I could watch the dice table and the new dealers. But it wasn't a night for trouble.
Well, Marshal Dillon. See you come to pay us a visit on opening night.
Hello, Webb.
Not drinking, Marshal. It's on the house, you know.
Not tonight, thank you.
Too bad. I've always made it a practice never to turn down anything free. Well, how about your friend here?
Well, yes, sir. I could use a little whiskey with some sugar in it.
I'll send one over to you. Oh, Marshal. Just by the way, you won't have to worry too much about my cheating the good citizens of Dodge out of their money. From what I've seen of them, it won't be too hard to take. I'll get one of the boys to bring you back that way.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Dillon, I know you don't like him, but in some ways he's not too bad, is he?
Chester, don't ever judge a man by the drinks that he buys you. I'll see you in the morning. More than 2 weeks passed in Dodge, and there wasn't any trouble to amount to anything. A couple of buffalo skinners got knifed in a fight the other side of the river, and that was all. I saw Webb Johnson a couple of times walking along Front Street, each time with one of his new entertainers, but I avoided going into the Longhorn unless I had to. I didn't want any part of him or his saloon. Chester? Chester?
Hey! Oh! Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Dillon.
Good evening, Chester.
I wasn't really sleeping, Mr. Dillon. I was just resting my eyes some.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, you see, I come back to the office after supper and kind of straightened out your papers some, and I just sat down at your desk to read a few reports, and I guess maybe my eyes got a mite strained.
Oh, I see. Chester, the way you've been working lately, are you after my job?
Oh, Mr. Dillon, I wouldn't never be able to do that.
Well, I've been a little worried about it. You've been patrolling the town an awful lot at night lately.
Oh, that. Well, to tell the truth, Mr. Dillon, I've been keeping company, you might say.
Oh?
Yes, sir. One of them, I think she cottons to me some. Olive Hasty, her name is.
Olive Hasty, huh? She one of the girls from St. Louis?
Yes, sir, but she isn't like the others. Oh, she's just as nice and polite. Why, she told me the other night that all she wants to do is find some nice place and settle down.
Oh.
She purely hates being in this sordid business. She's one of the finest...
Marshal Gillum?
Yes, that's right.
My name's Cook. Side Cook?
Mr. Cook?
I was thinking maybe you could help me.
Well, perhaps I can.
I'm looking for a man. I heard he took a train for Dodge about 2 weeks back.
Oh? Well, what's his name?
He called himself Sam Williams last time I saw him. Don't know what name he uses now.
Oh, there are 2 or 3 Williamses in Dodge, Mr. Cook.
Oh?
What did this man you're looking for have to mark him out?
Oh, nothing special. He's a young man, Marshal, maybe 35, 6. Big, too, with dark hair and black eyes.
Well, that wouldn't fit any of the Williams men I know.
His name wouldn't have to be Williams.
Yeah. Just why are you looking for this man?
I'm going to kill him.
That's a funny thing to tell a U.S. Marshal, isn't it, Mr. Cook?
I guess it is, Marshal, but I got my reasons.
Well, do you mind telling me?
No. I've seen a lot of gunfights in my time, and most always there's someone gets killed that had nothing to do with the argument. I figure it's best to stay away from people if there's got to be shots fired.
So?
So when I came into Dodge, I figured I'd find out from you if this man was here, and you could tell him to get out of town. I could kill him then out on the prairie somewhere.
I see. Well, are you sure you'll kill him? It could work both ways, you know.
Oh, I know that, but I'm an old man, so I don't have as much to lose.
Why is it you want this Williams so bad? What did he do?
It's not too long a story, Marshal. He was a Missouri raider after the war. He and some other fella come down to my farm one night. He took most everything we had, my wife and I. He was all pretty drunk, I guess. My daughter, she was about 17 then. Well, it's not a new story, Marshal. No.
Yeah.
I didn't have too much reason for staying on there in Missouri, and I've been following this man ever since. Not too fast sometimes, because it takes money to eat and travel. But I've been following.
You think he came to Dodge?
That's right, Marshal.
I see. Are you staying here, Mr. Cook?
I got me a room for tonight at the Dodge house. Maybe I'll be there for a day or so while I look around.
Yeah. Well, I'll remember what you've told me, Mr. Cook.
Well, thank you, Marshal. I sure hope I don't make you any trouble over this. Mr. Dillon?
Yeah, I know, Chester. I think it's Webb Johnson, too.
Well, what are you going to do?
I'll try to get Webb to leave town for a few days until I can get Cook there, headed out somewhere else on a false trail.
But if that Webb Johnson really did that, shouldn't he go to jail or at least go to trial?
We don't know what happened at the Cook farm other than what he just told us. My guess is he won't ever tell us any more. He figures it's his business to take care of in his own way.
What are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to go down to the Longhorn. Have a talk with Webb. Webb, I want to talk to you.
Well, sure, Marshal. What's on your mind?
Now, let's step down to the end of the bar, huh?
Now you sound like a peace officer talking.
Move.
Sure. You look mighty serious, Marshal. What's troubling you?
A few minutes back, a man came into my office. He's looking for you.
That so?
He knows you by the name of Sam Williams.
Most folks know me by the name of Webb Johnson. Your man must be thinking of someone else.
I don't think so. You could have changed your name.
Lots of men have.
And you fit the description he gave.
Suppose I am the one this man is looking for. What then? What's he want with me?
He plans to kill you.
I see. What are you going to do with him?
Nothing. He doesn't even know you're in town. He came to ask me if you were.
He's got a strange way of doing things.
Well, he may have his reasons.
Now, why are you telling me this, Marshal? Because you'd probably be just as happy if I got shot in the back.
Look, Webb, I want you to get out of town. Give me a chance to steer Cook out into the territory someplace. Get him clear of Dodge.
What for?
That way we can avoid more killing.
You don't have to worry about me. I can take care of myself.
Look, Webb, I'm telling you, get out of town for a while.
So I ain't got no plans for leaving?
Sam Williams.
Hello, Si.
I've come a long way, Sam. Moving away from him, Marshal.
Now listen to me, Si. Now you turn around and go back out that door. I don't want any gunplay. And you turn around slow.
No use, Marshal. I found Sam Williams. And I'm going to kill him.
Now, Si, listen to me. I don't want you...
Move away from him. Let go on!
Si.
He's dead, isn't he?
Yeah, he's dead.
Well, he was bound to get himself hurt sooner or later. He was crazy as a hooty owl.
Who did this, Webb?
Well, why do you ask me that, Marshal?
Because Cook told me why he held a grudge against you. Why he was looking for you.
You mean that story about the farm and his daughter-in-law? Well, now, what about it, Marshal? You couldn't prove nothing now, even if it was true.
All right. All right, a couple of you men drag this outside and dump it in the street. And you three, you'll carry Cook up to Doc's place.
You talk with Webb Johnson, Mr. Dillon?
Chester, Cy Cook was shot just 5 minutes ago.
He hurt bad?
He's dead.
Oh, my goodness. Webb Johnson?
No, I was standing beside Johnson. It was somebody outside.
Well, can't we go after him?
There's no use at night. He could take 20 directions out of town. Tomorrow's time enough.
Marshal Dillon.
Why, Miss Olive, what in the world?
Come here. You'll come after me. I've got to talk to you.
Well, what is it, miss?
I climbed out a back window and came right over. I know who Webb paid to kill that man.
What's that?
I was in Webb's room with him when he got the kid drunk and paid him the money.
What kid?
They called him Slim, that's all I know. It was maybe 16. I thought it was just a joke. I didn't know Webb really was going to have a man killed.
When was this?
Early this evening. One of the dealers came and told Webb he'd seen Cook in town. That's when it started.
You remember what Webb said to the kid?
Yes. Is it worth a horse and $100 to you to shoot a man? The kid was drunk and he laughed and said, what color was the horse?
You'd swear to this in a court.
Marshal, I'm scared. If I thought about it, I wouldn't have come. Maybe Webb will have someone shoot me.
All right, take it easy now, miss. Now, look, you'll be safe here.
You're not going to leave me here.
Chester, get me that shotgun.
Yes, sir.
And take one for yourself.
Am I going with you?
Yeah, come on.
Oh, Marshal Dunn, please.
You stay here now. All right, Chester, climb up on the bar. And shoot the first man that makes a move.
Yes, sir.
You two men, you're dealers. Get over against the wall. Now go on, belly up.
I'll cut you in half. You make a move. All right, now, where's Johnson? I said, where's Johnson? Where is he?
He's upstairs, Marshal. He's in the office.
All right, Soros, you're deputized. Stand by the door there. No one goes in or out. Chester, I'm going upstairs.
I've been expecting you, Marshal. Be no need to come upstairs. I'll meet you halfway.
I'm gonna die. Marshal, I'm gonna die.
You had your choice, Webb, like any other man.
I'm young, Marshal. I haven't had time enough.
I didn't want to kill you.
Marshal, I'm scared. Now I'm scared. Marshal.
All right. Gentlemen, cut loose and ride for home. Until further notice, the Longhorn Saloon's closed.
Mind if I sit here a while, Marshal?
Of course not. Sit down, Billy.
Hey, you look worried, Billy. A boy like you shouldn't look worried.
I'm 21. That's a man's age, isn't it, Chester?
Oh, sure. 21 is pretty old, Billy.
Old enough for Frogmouth Kate, anyway. Every time I come to town, that woman won't give me a minute's peace.
Well, maybe she's sweet on you, Billy.
Sweet on me. Look at her at the bar over there. She'll come to and miss me pretty soon. Old enough to be my mother.
Well, then why do you stay here? Why don't you go over to the Longhorn or someplace?
Oh, Kate's all right when she's sober. Just when she gets drunk, she's such a nuisance.
Well, she sure looks drunk now.
She is. And when she's like this, there's no worse woman in the whole world. I could kill her when she gets like this.
Somebody's always going to kill somebody around here.
Oh, that's just a way of talking, Marshal.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you, Billy, but I think Frogmouth Kate has spotted you.
Yeah, I knew she would. She gets lonesome awful fast, that woman.
So that's where you went, Billy. Leaving me all alone? Shame on you, honey.
I gotta catch my breath once in a while, Kate.
You can catch your breath with me, honey. Not with Marshal Dillon and Chester and all the rest of them.
Now, Kate, take it easy.
I'll take it easy. You and me'll take it easy in St. Louis, Billy boy.
And quit talking about St. Louis all the time. I ain't about to go to St. Louis. I'm broke right here in Dodge.
I got the money, Billy. Almost I got it. Almost enough. You and me, huh, baby?
Oh, Kate. Why don't you pick on somebody who can at least buy you a few drinks?
Well, they've been buying me drinks. I don't care about them anyway. Let's get married, Billy boy. What do you say, huh? You and me.
See what I mean, Marshal? Ain't she awful?
Well, she likes you, Billy.
Sure. We're a couple of real lovebirds.
Yeah.
Now stop that. Let go of me, Pete. I'll break your head open.
You're cute, Billy lover boy.
Joe, cut it out.
Well, if you'll excuse us, we better be moving on. Chester?
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right, Chester.
Yes, sir.
So long, Billy. Kate?
Now, you never mind them, Billy boy. They're just a couple of crooks like everybody else, except you, sweetie. You and me, huh?
My. Poor Billy.
Well, he's got to learn somehow.
I suppose.
The town seems pretty quiet, Chester. I think I'll go to bed.
Good idea, Mr. Dillon. I'll sleep in the office tonight.
All right, I'll see you in the morning.
Good night, sir.
Well, who is it?
It's Chester, sir. Open up.
Well, just a minute, Chester. What is it, Chester?
There's been a shooting, sir, in that rooming house next to the Alfraganza.
What? Well, I'll get dressed. Come on inside.
It's been raining a little, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah, good. Light that lamp there, will you, Chester?
Yes, sir. They sent for Doc, and he woke me up on his way out.
He know what it was all about?
No, sir. He just said it was in that rooming house.
Yeah. What time is it, anyway?
Oh, it'll be daylight soon. Must be about 4:30.
4:30. It's pretty late at night for a gunfight, isn't it?
Yes, sir. That's what I thought.
There. All right, Chester, I'm ready. Blow the lamp out.
Yes, sir. That rain sure helped. Wouldn't it be fine if it stayed this cool all day, Mr. Dillon?
No, you'd be lost if you couldn't complain about the heat, Chester.
Well, I'd be willing to think of something else.
Yeah, I suppose. Ma Torvitz still runs this rooming house, doesn't she?
Last I heard, she did.
Yeah.
Marshal. Down here, Marshal Dillon.
It's Ma Torvitz, all right.
Hello, Ma.
Right in here, Marshal.
Who was it, Ma?
Frogmouth Kate. She got shot.
Kate.
It's no use, Matt. She hasn't said a word, and she's not likely to now.
Who did it, Ma?
Oh, I was asleep, Marshal. Heard a shot and come right down. I sent everybody else back to bed and told them to stay there.
You don't know who did it, then?
He must have jumped out that window right there. You go get him, Marshal. He's got a head start already.
Who, Ma?
Well, that kid, Billy Daunt. Must have been.
Well, why do you think it was Billy?
Because he was drinking with her all night over at the Alfraganza, that's why. Been with her all yesterday, I heard, too. Couldn't be nobody else. He stole her money, too.
How do you know he did, Ma?
Oh, she showed me once. She kept it right under the mattress there, and it's gone. She had quite a lot of it saved up, too. Everybody knew that. She's planning on going back to St. Louis with it. She wanted Billy to go with her, but I guess he couldn't wait, the little rat. I sure hope I see him hung.
Chester, start looking for him. I'll join you in a few minutes.
Yes, sir. I'll go out back first.
She's dead, Matt.
Oh, that poor girl.
It's a wonder she lived this long, being shot so close up.
She didn't say anything,
Not a word, Matt. She was unconscious the whole time.
Yeah. Well, I'll chip in toward burying her, Doc, seeing as how she was sort of broke when she died.
Nonsense. Kate was a good girl, and I'll be responsible for her getting a fine burial. Finest there is. But you catch that devil Billy Daunt, Marshal. Don't you let him get away.
We'll find him, Ma.
Well, you sure better.
Well, let me know if you hear anything. I'll see you later, Doc.
Sure, Matt.
Chester and I spent the next couple of hours looking for Billy Daunt, but nobody had seen him since he and Kate had left the Alfraganza together the night before. We did learn, however, that he'd been riding for Luke Atkins, and since it was our only lead, we decided to go out to the ranch and have a talk with Luke. It was mid-morning when we rode up to the main house, and at first the place looked deserted.
Anyway, it's cool here under the cottonwood.
Maybe Luke's out on the prairie somewhere.
Well, if he's smart, he's keeping away from the sun right there in the house.
Oh. Now, leave the horses, Chester. They'll stand.
All right,
Who's there?
It's Matt Dillon, Luke.
Oh, just resting a little, Marshal. Hello, Chester.
Hello, Luke.
It's cooler out here. Sit down.
My gracious, what happened to you?
Does it look bad?
Bad enough to skip church this Sunday, Luke.
Black eye, huh? I ain't got a mirror.
Your jaw's swollen, too.
Fool kid, I never saw him like that before. He must have been drunk.
Billy Daunt?
He's been spending his pay in Dodge the last couple of days, and... Say, is that why you're here, Marshal? Billy get in trouble there?
Maybe. What'd he beat you up for, Luke?
Why, he just rode in here this morning early and said he needed a better horse than his and wanted my buckskin gelding. He was all excited, and I started to argue with him. He jumped me before I knew what was happening. Knocked me out for a minute, I guess.
He's gone then, huh?
Sure, he's gone. I came up to the house here and got my rifle and watched him go. Funny thing, though, he didn't leave right away.
What do you mean?
He fooled around down there in the barn for most an hour. I don't know what he was up to, but I just sat here on the porch with my rifle in case he got any more crazy ideas. He finally rode off, though, headed west.
Well, we're after him, Luke.
Billy in bad trouble, Marshal?
Yeah, it looks like it.
I'm sorry to hear that. He's always been a pretty good boy.
Where are the rest of your men, Luke?
Still in Dodge, Marshal, spending their pay.
Yeah. Well, you take care of that eye. So long.
Goodbye, Marshal. Chester?
Bye, Luke.
Come on.
Well, there's not much question about Billy now, is there?
Yeah, there sure isn't. Start looking for tracks, Chester.
Yes, sir, I have been.
The ground's still damp from the rain last night. We ought to cut this trail easy.
I don't see anything.
Now, look there, over there. Those are fresh tracks.
Yeah, they're fresh, all right, but they lead toward the ranch, not away from it.
Yeah. Well, let's follow them anyway, Chester.
What?
Come on, let's ride. Chester figured either Billy was riding backwards or I was crazy. But he stopped arguing after a couple of hours, and we rode in silence the rest of the day. Long about dusk, I figured we were catching up with him, but we couldn't afford to lose the trail. And when night came, we made camp. Next morning at daylight, we went on. By noon, it was clear Billy hadn't taken any rest at all. A couple of hours later, we began to wonder how much longer his horse could hold out.
This is the doggonedest hunt I was ever on.
Billy just isn't very smart, that's all.
Well, I must be half crazy. Beating up Luke Atkins like that?
When a man's in a panic, he'll do almost anything, Chester.
Well, you'd think he'd at least have sense enough to rest his horse now and then.
That'll be easier for us if he doesn't. Chester. Look up ahead there.
Hey, by heaven, it's a horse.
Yeah. Huh. That's a buckskin. It's not saddled.
There isn't a thing around, sir. This side of that bluff, anyway.
The bluff's too far away for an ambush. The horse doesn't look very good, does he?
He's not even eating.
Yeah.
Oh.
He may never be any good again. That fool kid.
Well, he can't be very far away. Unless he's found another horse.
Look at the buckskin's hooves, Chester.
Why, he isn't even shod.
Yeah, Billy pulled his shoes when he left him. He sure made a mistake, though.
What do you mean?
That's what he was doing in Luke's barn, putting the shoes on backwards. Now he's pulled them. He wouldn't fool anybody. All it did was help wear his horse out even more.
He had me fooled for a while. Anyway, we'll catch him pretty soon now.
Yeah, well, his tracks lead toward the bluff there. Probably into that clump of trees.
Well, if that's where he is, he can see us.
All right, we'll ride in from different directions. You can't get both of us.
Okay, sir.
A half hour later, Chester and I had reached the trees about the same time, and without being shot at. There was a spring there and a tiny cabin, deserted. One set of footprints led up to the place, and two sets led away from it. Billy had taken whoever lived there along with him. Figuring there wasn't too much hurry now, we watered our horses and let them breathe for a while.
The way I figured, Mr. Dillon, Billy was here about dawn this morning.
Well, he won't be far away, not more than 15 or 20 miles at the most. Unless he's found a horse.
Well, that's why he's carrying his saddle, isn't he?
Yeah. Only Billy isn't carrying the saddle.
What?
He's saving his strength. Whoever was in this cabin is doing the hard work.
You mean Billy took him along just to carry his saddle?
Yeah, he found himself a pack horse, Chester.
Mr. Dillon, I'm getting to have less use for Billy Daunt every minute. Come on, let's ride him down before it's too late for this poor fellow, whoever he is.
All right, Chester. Well, our horses are in good shape. We ought to catch him in a few hours.
I sure hope so.
You take the side of the trail, Chester. Track about 10 yards behind me, huh?
All right, sir.
All right, let's go. Don't bother to watch the trail anymore, Chester. It's headed right for that nester's shack there. So keep your eyes open.
You think Billy might still be there?
Yeah, he might be.
Oh. Maybe he's inside, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah. Let's spread out a little.
All right, sir.
Now, wait a minute. The door.
Who are you?
Are you alone, ma'am?
You the law?
I'm Marshal Dillon from Dodge.
You're too late, Marshal.
You mean he's gone?
He's gone. Take a look around at the side, Marshal. Right around there. Go on, look. Both of you.
Oh, my goodness, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah. He was killed with a knife.
Yes, sir, he sure was.
That your husband, ma'am?
Yes.
I'm sorry it happened, but if it's any comfort to you, we'll catch that boy. I promise you that.
Don't matter now.
He had another man with him. Where's he?
Inside. I've been trying to fix him up. He was near dead when they got here. Poor old Clabe.
Clabe?
He's 75 years old, Marshal, and that's too old to be used like an animal. Rotten kid.
I'd like to talk to him, ma'am.
Come on inside. It's all right, Claves. Marshal Dillon from Dodge. We've known Clave for 10 years, Marshal, ever since we've been here. Never hurt nobody.
Sure. Can you talk a little, Clabe?
I'll be all right, Marshal. I'm just kind of wore out. 20 miles packing a saddle in this weather. Fast, too. Had me walk fast.
How long ago did the boy leave here?
3 or 4 hours, Marshal. Took our mule, but he won't get far.
Oh? Why not?
Mule's too old. After 10 miles, just quit.
Your husband tried to stop him, is that it?
Yeah. He got mad when he saw what the boy had done to Clabe. And the boy knifed him. Never gave him a chance. He's wild crazy.
He sure is, Marshal. Scared, too. I never saw anybody so scared.
He's in a real panic, Clabe. But how come he used a knife? That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, it's all he's got, that's why.
What?
He ain't armed, except for that knife.
He doesn't have a gun?
He took our rifle, but there's no ammunition for it. We run out. Took it anyway.
But when he came to your place, Clabe, didn't he have a 6-gun?
No, sir. Just that knife, that's all he had. I got an old Navy pistol, but it's busted. I ain't been able to get it fixed.
I sure don't understand it, Mr. Dillon.
He's like a wild animal, that's what he is. He oughtn't to be loose.
He won't be for long, ma'am. Clabe, I hope you'll be all right.
I'm just plumb wore out.
Clabe's going to stay right here, Marshal. Too old to be living by himself anyway.
Good. Well, we'll be going now, ma'am. But we'll bury your husband first. Now, if you'll just show us where you'd like to have the grave.
Thank you, Marshal.
The woman wanted her husband buried right where he'd fallen. So we dug the grave there and laid him into it. She watched, straight-faced, without a tear. Then she said goodbye and went back into the house. It was just after sunset when we caught up with Billy. Just as the woman had said, the mule had gone 10 miles and quit. Billy saw us coming, started running across the prairie on foot. His panic had made him as nearly brainless as a man could get.
Look at him, Mr. Dillon. Did you ever see anything like it?
He's still got a knife, Chester.
Hold it, Billy. You can't get away.
Right up on the other side of him, Chester.
Yes, sir.
You've run far enough, Billy.
You have to shoot me, Marshal.
No, we won't. Take your rope down, Chester.
Good idea, sir.
All right, Chester, let's rope him.
We both got him.
Now stay on your horse, Chester. Just keep your rope tight.
No. I'll cut you, Marshal.
Let go of the knife. Billy. All right, Chester, slack up a little. All right, drop your rope, Chester. I'll tie him up with
No,
it.
you don't. Go me.
Hey, you're a wild one, Billy.
You'll never get me back. Not alive, you won't, never.
I think we will.
Let's make him walk back, Mr. Dillon.
I won't walk. You can drag me, but I won't walk.
No, we'll throw him across your horse, Chester. You and I can ride double till we make camp. Maybe that'll calm him down.
That Billy won't eat a thing, Mr. Dillon. He's just been crouched over there looking like a cornered animal ever since I woke him up this morning.
Still pretty spooky, huh?
Oh, he sure is.
Well, let's go talk to him. There's some bacon over there, Billy, if you want it. Aren't you hungry, Billy?
I didn't kill her, Marshal.
Oh? You've been running awful hard for an innocent man.
I didn't kill her, I tell you.
We'll let the judge decide that, Billy.
I was waiting for her outside, and I heard the shot. And I went around, and her window was open, and she was lying there. I didn't kill her.
Then why did you run, Billy?
I knew you'd be after me. I had to get away. I ain't going back to Dodge. I ain't going.
Yeah. All right, let's get packed up, Chester. How is he, Chester?
He just keeps standing there looking out the cell bars. But he did drink some of the coffee I left him.
I don't know, Chester. Sometimes I think just the act of running itself makes a man afraid. The more he runs, the more panicked he gets.
Anyway, it ain't healthy. A young boy like Billy.
Well, maybe he'll come out of it in time.
Morning, Marshal. Chester.
Morning, Mr. Green.
You're up early, Mr. Green.
Well, I heard you brought Billy Dawn in last night, Marshal, so I figured I'd better turn this over to you.
A 6-gun. Whose is this?
It's Billy's gun, Marshal. I've been fixing it for him.
Billy's gun?
That's right, Mr. Dillon. Billy didn't have a gun, remember?
How long have you had it, Mr. Green?
Oh, he brought in the first day he came to town, Marshal. The cylinder was loose, been shaving lead. It's okay now. I fixed it fine.
You've had it all the time?
Yes, sir. I was just keeping it for him until I heard he'd been arrested.
I see. Well, thanks, Mr. Green. I'll see that you're paid for your work.
Oh, sure, Marshal. That's all right. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Green.
Looks like Billy was telling the truth.
Yeah. You sure can't convict a man of a shooting if he didn't have a gun.
No, sir. But there's that nester he killed.
Yeah. And all for nothing.
Yes, sir.
Well, Chester, it's pretty hopeless now, but let's see if we can find out who did kill Kate.
Probably just some thief. Heard about her money.
Yeah. Probably.
Cut? Sure. I'll cut. Well, Brewer? Hit me. That's enough. Can you beat 19? 20 will do it. Yeah, you're lucky today, Brewer. Against a dealer like you, Vince, that ain't luck so much.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I figure maybe you've been letting me win. And then later on, things sort of change, and you'll get all this back, and I'll keep plunging till you got all mine, too.
Brewer, I've killed men for that kind of talk.
What kind of men? You're in Dodge now, Mr. Gambler. You ain't gonna kill nobody. Lesson he's drunk, and I'm sober. I'll be back this evening, Vint, and I'm bringing a friend, Jack Salter, with me.
The game's open. Bring anybody you like.
Salter won't be gambling. He'll just sit here and watch you deal. You got any objections?
Why should I?
You shouldn't, if you like living. See you later.
Sit down, Vin.
Yeah.
You look worried.
I am. That fella Brewer just walked out of here with a lot of my money. He's coming back tonight to play some more.
And what are you worried about?
Sure, I was setting him up, Nan. Let him win a little and then take everything he's got. But he's bringing a friend back with him to help watch me deal.
You mean he's on to you?
Yeah,
Who's the friend?
Jack Salter. You know him?
A little. And I've heard he's quite a gunman.
Oh. Man, you gotta help me.
Help you how?
Brewer's got $500 of my money now. And if he hits a streak of luck, it could be more. With both of them watching me, I don't dare deal cards my way.
Well, what can I do, Vince? You're a gambler. I'm not.
There are ways of getting that money back without gambling.
How?
You just get him off alone somewhere, and I'll take care of the rest.
Oh, no, Vince, please.
Nan, this is our money, yours and mine. It's part of the money we're running away on. If I lose this, we'll be a long time getting to St. Louis.
No, but...
You want to go on working in a saloon the rest of your life? Supporting your child and that worthless husband of yours? Or do you want to go with me? Back east. And be free. And have a decent home.
You know I do, Vince.
All right. And if Brewer's lucky and goes on winning, you got to play sweet to him. Get him outside in the alley, alone. You can do it, Nan, easy. It's for us, you know.
I'm afraid. I'll do it, Vince. You know I will.
That's a girl. I'm good, Vint. 18.
I got 20. This winning all the time gets tiresome. Think I'll quit.
Whatever you like. You got about 700 of his money now, Brewer.
Oh, that much, Salter, huh? Well, we'll have another little game sometime, Vint. What do you say?
Any time, Brewer. Give me your chips. I'll cash them.
Sure. Now spread the word you're an honest dealer, Vint. Real honest.
He sure is. I'm going now, Brewer. There's a little girl at the Longhorn been waiting to dance with me.
See you later, Salter.
Sure. So long, Vint. It's been a pleasure.
Goodbye. Here's your money.
Thanks.
Cliff, buy you a drink, Brewer?
Oh, that's decent of you, Vint, but I'm the winner. I'll buy you one.
All right. Mike, bring us a bottle of Irish.
Great. Don't worry about tonight, Vint. I'll give you a chance to win it back. Maybe tomorrow.
A gambler like me's bound to lose now and then, Brewer.
Especially when he runs into my kind of luck, huh?
I hope you gentlemen don't mind if I brought you a bottle of Jameson's. Mike's busy.
Well, now, of course we don't. Sit down, man. Have one with us.
Oh, thanks. I was sort of hoping you might ask me.
You're honest anyway. I like that.
How'd you make out at 21?
Ask him.
He won $730.
Oh.
Here, let's drink up. Mud in your eye.
Thanks for the drink, Brewer. I think I'll quit for the night.
Let me know when you want another game, Vint.
Good night.
Nan?
Yeah?
Aren't you and Vint,
Oh, we both work here. Anything else is just the usual gossip.
Oh. You're pretty. Have another drink, man?
No, thanks. I'm sorry, but I have to go home.
Oh, you can't do that. You just got here. Besides, it's early yet.
I always go home early. You can walk with me, though, if you like.
Walk with you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure. Fine. Let's go.
All right. I'll take the bottle back.
Here's some money. Give it to Mike.
Wait for me at the back door, huh?
Back door?
Oh, it's quicker to where I live that way.
Oh, okay. Well, hurry up, Nan.
Yeah. go.
Dark out here. I hope you know the way.
Of course I do. I walk it every night.
Oh, what?
Oh, my ankle.
Oh, here. I got you.
I twisted it.
Oh.
Hold me, will you?
No way, I'll carry you.
Easy now. There, now, just take it easy. I'll get you home now. Tell me where you are.
Right down this alley, Mr. Dillon, so they said. Yeah, I see some people back there. This is. Hold that light over here, will you, mister?
Yeah.
Thank you. Why, it's Charlie Brewer.
Yeah.
He's dead. Somebody clubbed him, all right. Who are you, miss?
I'm Nat Miller. I work at the Elephorganza.
What were you doing out back here?
Well, he wanted to take a walk, and we got out here, and then somebody jumped us.
Are you hurt?
Well, they knocked me out, but I'm all right now.
They? How many were there?
I don't know. I got hit. And when I came to, I saw him like that. And I screamed.
Well, that's what's wrong here.
That's all I know, Marshal. I didn't see anybody at all.
Chester?
Yes, sir?
Take her over to Doc's.
No. I'm all right. I want to go home. I'm all right.
Are you sure?
Yeah, sure. Don't bother about me, Marshal. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay, Nan. Chester, go find a piece of canvas. We'll take Brewer over to Doc's.
Yes, sir.
Is Matt back yet, Chester?
He's coming across Front Street right now, Doc.
Well, it's not often a man gets killed around here without being shot.
Clubs don't make any noise, Doc.
It's murder. Just plain murder, that's what it is.
You all through, Doc?
I'm all through, Matt. We'll bury him in the morning.
Doc, did Brewer have any money on him?
A couple of dollars and change, Matt. I wrapped it up with the rest of his effects.
Yeah. He won a lot of money from Vint James tonight.
Then he was robbed. That girl, Nan Miller.
She helped rob him, maybe. You think a woman could have clubbed him that hard, Doc?
Oh, no, I don't. My goodness, no.
Well, I don't think so either. But I think she got him out in the alley so Vint could club him. As soon as Vint got away, she set up a holler.
But, Matt, just because Vint lost some money...
They say Vint and Nan are friends, Doc. Good friends.
You don't say. Well, what do you know?
You going to arrest him, Mr. Dillon?
There's no real evidence, Chester. He'd just go free again.
Marshal?
Yeah.
I want to talk to you.
Now, you're Jack Salter, aren't you?
I am. And I'm a friend, or was, of Charlie Brewer.
I see.
You don't see nothing, Marshal.
Oh, what do you mean?
That gambler, Vint, he murdered Brewer.
Can you prove it?
I don't have to prove it.
Well, the law says you do, Salter.
I ain't interested in what the law says, Marshal.
I am.
Look, Marshal, Charlie Brewer won over $700 off Vint tonight.
That much?
I was there, watching Vint so's he'd deal honest.
Oh?
I don't even have to ask if you found that money on Brewer.
No, it was gone.
And why haven't you arrested Vint?
Wouldn't do any good, Salter. There's no legal proof he did it.
I told you I ain't interested in all that.
So?
So I'll kill Vent myself if I have to.
That's what I thought.
I'm warning you, Marshal. I'll give you till tomorrow night. And if he isn't in jail by then, I'm going out and I'm going to shoot him down.
That's murder, too, Salter, and if you try it, I'll throw you in jail.
We'll see about that, Marshal. After I kill Vent.
Don't do it, Salter.
Tomorrow night, Marshal. And you know I'll do it.
This table all right, Kitty?
Fine, Mac. It's as quiet as any. Sure you don't want a drink?
Not tonight, Kitty.
What's on your mind, Mac?
Nan Miller.
Oh. I heard about her being with Brewer when he got killed. She wasn't hurt, though, they said.
No, she's fine.
Guess they didn't hit her very hard, then.
Knocked her out. So she said, anyway.
I take it you don't believe her.
No, Kitty, I don't. Tell me about her and Vent James, huh?
Well, Vint gambles at the Alpha Gamza map, and she works over there, too. I hardly know him at all.
You know more than that about him.
Oh, there's a lot of gossip, if you're interested in that.
Tell me what you think's true.
They're in love.
What else?
For some men, that's enough, Matt.
Kitty, I'm not interested in romance. I'm after a murderer.
Sure. That's about all I know, Matt. They're in love, and I'm sure Nan wasn't stepping out on Vint with Charlie Brewer. I'd swear to that.
No, I don't think she was either.
From what I hear, she and Vint are serious enough to get married, if they could.
Well, why couldn't they?
Well, Matt, don't you know? Nan's already married.
What?
Sure. She's been married for years.
Well, where's her husband? Does he know about all this?
I don't think he'd care if he did. They say he spends all his time in that little saloon at the edge of town. What's it called? El Dorado?
He spends his time and her money, is that it?
Men.
Now, Kitty.
He wouldn't be so bad if it weren't for their kid.
They have a child?
A 6-year-old girl. Vicky, I think she's called. Nan hires some old woman to take care of her most of the time.
A little girl, huh? And you think Nan and Vint would get married if they could?
I don't know, Matt, but they act like it. So I hear, anyway.
Yeah. I think I got an idea, Kitty.
What?
Well, I'll tell you later if it works. But it has to do with men. Tell me, do you think Vint's a good man?
I don't think any man's any good. Not till you put him to the test, anyway.
Well, that's exactly what I'm going to gamble on. And I don't think Vint will test out very well.
I don't know what you're talking about, but why not?
He's a crooked dealer, for one thing. I'll see you later, Kitty. I'm going to have a talk with Vint.
Who is it?
Marshal Dillon.
What do you want?
Open up the door.
It's late, Marshal.
Is it?
I was about to go to bed.
This won't take long.
Well, okay, Marshal. What do you want?
I want you to leave town, Vint.
What?
Get out of Dodge by tomorrow evening.
Well, what for? Why?
I always run crooked gamblers out.
But, Marshal, I don't deal crooked, and nobody can prove I do.
Yeah. You come from St. Louis, don't you, Vint?
Yeah. Why?
There's a train east at 5 o'clock tomorrow. be on it. You understand?
All right, Marshal. I'll go.
I know you will. Good night.
Good night, Marshal.
Oh, Vint, you're early.
I said I'd be here at 4, Nan. I rented the wagon there to carry your trunk to the depot.
Well, come on in. I'm not quite ready yet.
Well, the Santa Fe leaves at 5. You haven't got much time.
Vint, I'm so excited.
It's like I told you this morning, Nan. We're mighty lucky getting out this easy.
Yeah, of course we are. But let's don't talk about all that now. Let's just think about the future.
Oh, wait till you see St. Louis. It's a real town with real buildings. Not a lot of ramshackle old rookeries like Dodge.
Oh, I can hardly wait, Vint. And to see it all with you. I just can't believe it's really going to happen.
Well, it won't happen if you don't hurry up and finish packing.
Oh, I'm almost ready. Come along, you take Vicky's things out now. I packed them first.
Vicky's things?
Yeah, she's playing out back. I'd have never done a thing with that child in here. I just hope she isn't getting dirty. She's all dressed up for the train.
Vicky?
Of course. Why are you looking like that?
You're planning to take Vicky?
Vint, what do you mean?
You never mentioned taking Vicky along.
Well, you didn't think I'd leave her here.
We never talked about it.
Talked about it? She's my child, Vint. Of course I'll take her.
No, I don't want a child along.
Vint.
Nan, look. We can't be bothered with a kid. We're going to see things, do things, you and me. Well, Vicky's better off here anyway.
Better off here? With a drunkard for a father and no mother at all? Are you crazy?
Well, give her to somebody.
Give her to... She's my child, Vint. Don't you understand?
Sure, but I don't want her with us, Nan. I can't stand kids.
Oh, no,
Go
you
on.
can't.
Get packed. We're going to be late.
Vint, I won't leave Vicky.
What?
I won't leave her.
You mean that?
Yes.
All right, then stay with her. I'm going.
Oh, no, Vint, you can't. You can't leave me now, Vint,
yes,
no.
I can. I can do anything.
Vint, no, please.
Goodbye, Nan.
You're really going, aren't you?
Of course I am.
I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
Driver to the depot. Once again, please. We'll just come out of the music into the ad-libs on the train. Real easy, not heavy, but they're there. Okay, once again.
Here he comes now, Mr. Dillon, just in time.
Yeah. He's alone, too.
What do you mean he's alone?
Chester.
What?
You go tell the engineer not to pull that train out of Dodge until I give him the word, huh?
What?
Go on, hurry up, tell him.
Yes, sir.
Well, Marshal, I'm leaving. Are you satisfied?
Not quite, Vint.
Oh?
And here comes a man who isn't satisfied at all about your leaving.
Who? Where?
Right over there. See? Jack Solder. You remember him.
Solder? Well, what's he doing here?
Well, he'll probably tell us.
I seen him driving around that wagon with his bags all dressed up. You can let him go, aren't you, Marshal? can let him ride that train right out of Dodge.
What are you talking about, Soldier?
Shut up. I'll take care of you later, Vince.
Later?
Yeah. I just got a sudden idea to go to St. Louis, too, Marshal.
I see.
What's this all about?
Salter here wants to kill you, Vint.
Kill me?
Yeah. He says you murdered a friend of his. Brewer.
Well, that's a lie.
Don't you call me a liar.
All right, hold it, Salter. I'll handle this, not you.
Mr. Dillon? Oh, Mr. Dillon?
Yeah. What is it, Chester?
This lady here wants to talk to you.
Nan. It's Nan.
Excuse me, gentlemen.
I'm coming with you, Marshal.
Well, so am I, by heaven.
You, wanted to see me, Nan?
Yes, Marshal, I do. I got something to tell you about Vince and me.
Wait, Nan. Don't.
Why not, Vince?
Look, there's time. I'll go over to the house and get Vicky right now. We'll take her. Of course we will. I was just joking.
Were you, Vince?
Well, you know I was, Nan. Come on. You come with me. We'll go get her.
No. I don't trust you, Vince. You're no good. No good at all.
Nan, listen.
Shut up, Vint. Let her talk. All right, go ahead, Nan.
Vince killed Brewer last night, Marshal. Look out, he's got a gun!
You got in the way, Marshal. I'd have shot him.
He almost shot Nan. You jumped him just in time, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah. All right, Chester, pick up his gun. And bring him to jail when he comes to.
Yes, sir.
Well, Salter, you satisfied?
I'm satisfied, Marshal.
Vince no good, Marshal. He's no good at all.
I was counting on you to find that out, man. All right, come along.
Hold tight now, Matt. That's it. I've got it. Almost. Ah, there it is, yes. Well, a little piece of lead. Just as we thought. You see?
Now, that took you long enough, Doc.
Now, don't you blame me. You should have come here before. People never do go to a doctor until the last minute.
I've carried that lead in my leg for over a year, Doc. It never did bother me any. The only reason I came up here today is because you weren't busy and I didn't have anything else to do myself. Aren't you through yet?
No, I'm not through yet. I'm looking for my needle. I've got to take a couple of stitches in it first. Oh, yes. And if you're talking like that just to get my fee down, you're wasting your time. You know, it's when I'm not busy that I'm poor, and I have to charge more. There, now, that ought to hold you fine.
Not much of a wound. The lead worked right up next to the skin. I could have cut it out myself.
Yeah, but you didn't. And it's going to cost you $5.
$5?
Well, you're the only patient I've had today. I got to make out somehow.
Oh, hand me my pants, Doc.
How is he, Doc?
Oh, he'll live, Chester. Worse luck.
Say, there's a fellow in the office downstairs wants to see you, Mr. Dillon.
Oh, who is it, Chester?
He didn't say.
All right. I'm ready. We'll finish our discussion at supper, if you like, Doc.
Well, there's nothing to discuss, but I'll eat with you anyhow.
Thanks. See you later.
Are you Marshal Dillon?
I am.
My name's Parker. I'm a special deputy representing the New Mexico Stock Raisers Association.
New Mexico?
Of course. Haven't you heard of the association?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I was just thinking you're a long way from home, aren't you?
Perhaps. Marshal, I have a warrant here for the arrest of Dane Shaw.
Dane Shaw. I never heard of that name around here.
We'll let the marshal handle this if you don't mind.
Oh, we will, huh? Well, now, you're pretty high and mighty for just a
Easy,
doggone...
Chester, easy.
Here's the warrant, Marshal.
Who issued this, Mr. Parker?
We had Judge Blent of Santa Fe issue it.
You had him issue it?
Well, no. What I mean is read it. Read it.
Yeah. It's got the judge's name on it and its seal. That looks okay to me. What makes you think this Dane Shaw's in Dodge?
I didn't say I thought he was in Dodge.
You're the one looking for help, mister, not me.
It's a warrant, and you're a marshal. And we think Dane Shaw may be in or near Tascosa.
Tascosa?
That's a long ride from here, Mr. Parker. Isn't there someone closer than I am?
No, I was told to deliver the warrant here.
I see. Oh, what's this Shaw wanted for, anyway?
Rustling, murder, banditry.
All of that?
He once rode with Billy the Kid. Does that explain it?
Not quite, Mr. Parker.
We hold those men equally responsible. Every one of them.
We?
The Stock Raisers Association and others.
Ah, I see. Now, you say Shaw once rode with a kid. Do you mean he isn't still with him?
Shaw left the gang just 2 years ago.
Who told you he did?
Pat Garrett.
Pat Garrett? Well, if he said so, it's probably true.
We've got to put a stop to that gang, Marshal. New Mexico is like an armed camp till we do.
But Shaw isn't with the kid anymore.
He's of the same breed, and he'll be back, maybe with his own gang.
Yeah, that's possible.
In any case, the man's wanted, and you have the warrant.
Why don't you come down to Tascosa with us, Mr. Parker?
No, that's not my job. I'll wait right here in Dodge.
Yeah, I thought so. Any idea what Dane Shaw looks like?
6 feet, black hair, about 180 pounds.
That's not much help. Anything else?
They say he has a knife scar across his ribs on the left side.
Well, that's something. Where's he from?
Who knows where any of those men come from? They all lie, anyway. Why, they say Billy the Kid claims to have been born in New York.
Well, maybe he was.
Oh, nonsense.
How do you know?
Well, I was born in New York, for one thing.
And you couldn't both have come from the same town.
I'd hate to think so, Marshal.
All right, Mr. Parker. You keep nice and cozy here in Dodge, and we'll ride down to Tascosa for you.
Now, Marshal, I don't think that's quite called for.
Chester, go get our horses.
Yes, sir, Mr. Dillon.
Tascosa lay on the Canadian River, a couple of hard days' ride south. Until recently, it'd been a Comanchero trading point. Now it was mostly a center for cattle thieves looking for a place to spend their money. I hadn't been there for several years, and when we rode in, I was surprised to see how much the town had grown.
Now, at least they got some trees down here, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah, and a couple of new buildings under them, Chester. It looks like there's another one being started.
It's going to be a big one, too. Doesn't look like a house, though. I wonder what it is.
Now, we can ask in the saloon over there.
The Red Deer. That's a pretty fancy name.
Maybe we can find out if there are any respectable citizens in this town.
There don't seem to be anybody here at all, sir, respectable or otherwise.
How about that?
Oh. I sure could use a drink, Mr. Dillon.
Well, I figure we've earned one.
Gentlemen, what'll it be?
Beer.
Oh, Mr. Dillon.
One beer, one whiskey.
Right.
There now. That's the best-looking thing I've seen yet in this town. Here's how.
Tascosa's changed some.
You been there before?
Yeah, some time ago. What's the new building they're putting up?
Oh, that's going to be a schoolhouse.
A schoolhouse? In Tascosa?
Yes, a few men have moved into town with their families. Kids need a school, so it was Nat, of course, got it organized.
Nat?
Nat Temple. He owns the Red Deer here.
Oh, I see. He must be sort of the leading citizen here, then, huh?
In most ways, I suppose he is.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to talk to him. Where is he?
Out back, building a fence. Door's right there.
Oh, thanks. There's your money. See you later.
Sure.
Hello.
Mr. Temple?
Nat Temple.
I'm Matt Dillon, and this is Chester Proudfoot.
I'm glad to know you.
Barkeep told us that we'd find you out here.
That's Mike Postle. He's a good boy.
I gathered from him that you were the right fellow to come to, Mr. Temple.
What can I do for you?
Well, I'm looking for a man.
You are? Why?
I'm a U.S. Marshal, Dodge City.
We don't get the law down here often, Marshal.
No. Man I'm looking for is Dane Shaw. Do you know him?
Nobody by that name around here?
I expect he's changed his name.
And how are you going to tell him from anybody else?
He's 6 foot tall, black hair, weighs 180 pounds.
Could be most anybody that built.
He's got a scar across his ribs.
It isn't often you see a man without a shirt, Marshal. What you want it for?
He used to ride with Billy the Kid. He quit, but they think he might be planning to return to New Mexico with a different bunch, one of his own, maybe.
Then it'd be better to stop him now, if that's true.
And I agree. That's why I'm here.
Well, wish I could help you, Marshal. What are you going to do?
I don't know. Stay around for a day or so, I guess. Maybe I'll hear something.
Fine. You know, it'd be too bad since that fella quit the Kid if he went back to the same old outlaw life.
Sure. But he probably will. Men don't often change.
Some do if they get the chance. Take Mike Postle in there, the barkeep.
Oh? What about him?
Mike used to carry a gun for Harry Gunter. Gunter calls himself a rancher down here, but he spreads a mighty big loop.
You mean he's really a cattle rustler?
Yeah, everybody knows it, but nobody's proved it yet. And one reason was because of Mike. He sort of kept everybody off Gunter.
How?
Mike Postle's pretty fast with a gun.
I see. How come he's tending bar for you, Temple?
Well, I'll tell you. He have decided himself to stop working for Gunter, and one night he was telling me about it, and I helped him decide the rest of the way.
Ah. And then you gave him a job, huh?
That's right, Marshal. He'll make out fine if Gunter lets him alone.
Well, that was decent of you, Temple. I hope it works.
But being a lawman, I suppose you don't think it will.
Well, a lawman isn't all bone, Mr. Temple.
Lawman could arrest Mike Postle right now for what he's done.
You can't arrest everybody. But anyway, if I were handling it, I'd go after the head man, Gunter.
They don't seem to think you're way over in New Mexico.
Well, I hear Pat Garrett's after Billy right now, and he'll get him with any luck at all. Pat's a good manhunter.
Maybe. But they also want this fella Dane Shaw.
Yeah, there's a warrant for him signed in Santa Fe.
Yeah.
If Pat does stop Billy, there's no point in letting Shaw come back with a new gang.
If that's what he aims to do.
Well, he might have it in mind.
Well, Marshal, that's your problem. Right now, come on inside and have a drink on the house.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Temple. It'll be a pleasure.
And then I'll tell you where you can get something to eat that won't poison you.
Say now, I think I'm going to like Tascosa after all.
Sure you are.
That was pretty good turkey, Mr. Dillon. You should have tried it.
And they must have a Chinese cook in that place. It's better than the usual feed trough in a town like this. Yeah, let's sit here a while, Chester.
All right. Just think, Mr. Dillon, someday Tascosa may be as big as St. Louis.
I doubt that, Chester.
Well, as big as Dodge, then.
That's a little more likely. Ah, here come some citizens now.
They sure are. Looking for trouble, and it ain't even dark yet.
Maybe they just want to cut the dust in their throats, Chester.
Mean-looking bunch, if you ask me.
I'll do the talking, man. Okay, Gunner, we're behind you.
If he ain't in here, we'll find him.
Did he say Gunter?
Yeah, I did, Chester. Come on, let's watch it.
I didn't expect...
Over here, Chester.
Yes, sir.
You come here for a drink, gentlemen?
No, Postle, we didn't come here for no drink.
And state your business, Gunter.
You're the first man ever walked out on me, Postle. I don't like it, and I don't aim to tolerate it.
That all?
There's two reasons you're coming back.
I'm not interested in your reasons, Gunter.
One is I need your gun.
I'm through selling my gun.
And the other is you know too much about my business.
Your business is your affair, Gunter. You know I don't talk.
Maybe. But you're still coming back.
That's so? Which one of you's gonna bring me back?
You're pretty handy with that six-shooter of yours, Postle. Ain't any one of us fool enough to go against you.
That's about what I figured.
But you can't shoot the whole bunch of us.
I'll sure try hard.
And you'll die trying. I'm telling you, Postle, be back in camp a day after tomorrow. We ride in after you.
Wait a minute, Gunter.
What do you want, Timber? You've caused enough trouble already.
I ain't through yet. Gunter, if you come back here, you'll have to face me. as
No,
well as
Temple,
Mike.
no.
Shut up, Mike. Now just remember that, Gunter. I'll be here, too.
And you'll both die. Come on, men.
Who are those two?
I never seen it before.
Just a couple of grub line riders, I guess.
Let's go up to the bar, Chester.
Now you've seen him, Marshal. That's Harry Gunter.
Well, Gunter's not my business, but I wish you luck with him.
Mike and me will face him down.
I'll face him, Temple, not you.
No, I helped get you in this. By heaven, I'll see you through it.
It's not your fight, I tell you.
It's my fight. I believe any man who wants to make a change deserves all the backing anyone can give him. I'll see you get it.
You'll just be killed for nothing. Besides, you're a married man.
Being married has nothing to do with it. Maybe we'll both be killed, but that's better than giving in to a man like Gunter. Mike, I never told you going straight was easy.
You should have been a preacher, Temple. I'm going to get my supper now. I'll be back in a minute.
I'd make a fine preacher, I would. But if business don't pick up some here, maybe I'll have to give it a try.
Well, the town's growing, Temple. Business ought to be good.
Well, it's growing, Marshal, a little at a time. When I first came here, there wasn't more than a couple of adobe huts the whole place.
When was that, Temple? Oh, when you first came here.
1 year and 9 months exactly, Marshal. Now, if you'll excuse me, I got work to do.
Let's get some air, Chester.
All right. He's a mighty nice fellow, that Nat Timble, isn't he? I mean, willing to back up Mike Postle that way. He's a man of his word. And building a new school and all that. Married, too. Funny thing, Mr. Dillon, I can't quite figure out if you like Timble.
I like him fine, Chester. Only his name isn't Timble.
What?
It's Dane Shaw. He's the man we're looking for. The idea of taking a man like Nat Timble in and sending him back to New Mexico to face a jury of scared and vengeful cattlemen didn't sit too well with me. Anyway, I decided I had to wait it out at least until Harry Gunter made his play. 2 days, Gunter had said. And the night before the final day, Timble asked Chester and me to a little dance they were having to celebrate the start of the new schoolhouse. And there we met Ms. Trimble. A fine-looking woman with a strong face and steady blue eyes.
If you'd like some punch, gentlemen, my husband's serving it right over there.
Yes, I might enjoy sampling a little, ma'am. I'll be right back.
Chester.
Yes, sir? Huh? Oh, my goodness. Oh, excuse me, ma'am. I'd also enjoy fetching you a cup of that punch.
Oh, thank you, Chester, but I'll have some later.
Well, sure, ma'am. Anytime. I'll be right back.
I'd be foolish not to take advantage of your husband's being busy, Miss Timble. Would you do me the honor?
No offense, Marshal, but I'd rather get a breath of air outside.
Why, certainly, ma'am.
Would you accompany me?
Why, of course. Nice evening.
You think it'll hold, Marshal?
Oh, it won't rain. Not for the next couple of days, anyway.
That's not exactly what I meant. I was wondering how nice tomorrow evening will be.
Afraid I don't quite follow, ma'am.
After Harry Gunter and his gang ride in.
Oh. Well, now, I wouldn't worry about that, Miss Timble.
My husband's involved, Marshal. I'm bound to worry.
Of course.
It's not that I don't want him to back Mike Postle and fight alongside him. He's got to do that. But I don't want him killed. He's the finest man that ever lived, Marshal.
Yeah, sure, Miss Timble.
He believes that a man's got a right to change, and he's willing to die for that.
I know.
Tell me, do you think he's right, Marshal Dillon? In spite of what the law might say, do you think he's right?
I think he's right, ma'am.
I had a feeling you would.
But maybe things will work out all right tomorrow. Maybe everything will be fine.
I hope so, Marshal. Anyway, I'll bring our son up to know his father for the rare kind of man he is.
Oh? I didn't know you had a son.
We haven't yet.
What?
I haven't even told Nat. But we're going to have one, Marshal.
Oh, I see.
Shall we go in now? And I'll be your partner for the next dance, if you like.
What? I'd be proud, Miss Timble. Real proud. Next morning early, Chester and I saddled up and rode out past the edge of town to the south. There we pulled off the trail into a clump of scrub cedar and waited. Beyond us lay the Canadian River, and across it broad Vegas of spring-fed meadow grass. As we watched, a buffalo, cow, and calf came to the river and drank. And then they suddenly moved off upstream and disappeared in the mesquite. And a moment later, 6 horsemen came out of the distance, riding hard for the river and for Tascosa.
I reckon that's them, Mr. Dillon.
You, don't have to do this, Chester.
I know it. Any objections to me using a rifle?
There are no rules in this game.
I'll feel a mite cozier behind the Winchester.
Eyes open, Chester.
Yes.
Come on. All right, hold it, Gunner.
Oh! Who are you?
I'm a U.S. Marshal. My name's Matt Dillon.
Them's the fellows we thought was bums, Gunner, the other day at the Red Deer.
Yeah. Get off the trail, Marshal. You got no business with us.
Turn around and ride back where you came from, Gunner. Mike Postle's staying in Tascosa.
Postle, eh? So you're in on this, too?
I've dealt myself in, Gunner. Now do as I say. And keep away from Tascosa from now on, or I'll get a posse and come after the bunch of you.
We don't need any lawmen down here, Marshal. Who's that?
It's Timble and Mike, Mr. Dillon.
How did they know we were out here?
Looks like we won't have to go into Tascosa, Marshal. We can settle this right here.
You were missing this morning, Marshal. I kind of figured we'd find you hereabouts.
You and Timble both ought to stay out of this. This is my trouble.
A little late for that now, Postle. Well, the odds are down, Gunner.
They Sure are. I ain't facing all them. Come on, Gunter. We'll catch Pasta later when there ain't such a crowd.
There we are.
Not me. I'm going.
Shut up. Timble, you're responsible for this.
I'm proud of it, Gunter.
Get him and Postle, men. Get
Stop it,
Gunter!
Should we go after them three?
No, let them go, Chester. They won't be back. Temple's been hit.
How is he, Marshal?
He got hit bad. Chester, go see if Gunter and those other two are really dead.
Yes, sir. I told him not to come along. He wouldn't listen to me. Here, let me pick him up and get him back to town.
No, it's no use. He's done for, Apostle.
Are you sure?
He was dead before he hit the ground.
We finished him, sir.
All three of them. It'd take more than three of them to be worth that Timble.
I'm sorry, Apostle.
Done enough for me already. Why'd he have to come here? This was my fight, not his.
No, Apostle, not the way he looked at it. You see, Temple himself went straight a couple of years back.
He did?
Yeah. I came down here carrying a warrant for his arrest.
You ain't gonna be able to take him in now, are you, Marshal?
No, I'm not.
You know, I'm kind of mixed up about you. Coming down here to arrest him and then meeting Gunter and them out here today.
I'm not important, Apostle. Just you remember what kind of man Temple was.
I ain't likely to forget. I'll swear to that, Marshal.
Good. Look, you and Chester stay here. I'll send a wagon out from town. I'm going in to see Ms. Tyndall.
You'll be going back to Dodge now, Marshal.
Yes, ma'am, I will.
I want to thank you for trying to stop it.
It's my job.
No, not quite. Well, I guess Mike'll have to run things now.
He's a good man. He'll make out fine.
Sure. Tell me one thing, Marshal.
Yes, ma'am.
I know you came here to arrest my husband.
I figured you did.
If this hadn't happened today, would you really have taken him back?
Miss Temple, I don't know. But I tell you one thing. If I had, it'd have been my last act as a lawman.
You mean you'd have quit after?
I'd have quit.
If you're around Tascosa again, Marshal, come and see us. Me and the baby.
I'd be proud to, ma'am. Real proud.
Looks like he's got himself a pretty nice camp there.
I don't care about his camp. All I want is something to eat.
He's a hunter of some kind. He'll sure have meat around.
He'd better. It's the last we'll eat between here and Dodge.
Why are you in such a hurry to get to Dodge?
Don't like this prairie, Jesse. I like towns.
Say, this fellow's got something cooking in that fire of his.
Good.
Oh, there.
Hello, friend.
Oh, there.
You're in time for supper. Get down.
You get down, Jesse. I'm staying on my horse.
What?
Do like I tell you.
All right, Bill.
We'll have to eat on the trail, mister. We're riding for Dodge.
Why, sure, friend. Got some buffalo ribs roasting here. You can take 'em along.
Got a sack we can carry him in?
Well, I ain't got many sacks, but sure, you can have one right over there by my pack saddle, son.
Thanks, mister.
You alone here?
Oh, I had a partner, but he quit.
That's a shame.
This sack okay, mister?
Sure. Help yourself to the ribs, son. Take all you can eat. I'll roast some more for myself.
Now, this is mighty good of you, mister.
Don't stand there jawing all day, Jesse.
I'm not. I'll just take these 4 here, mister.
Take them all.
Yeah, go ahead, son. You're welcome to 'em.
Yeah, that's enough. And thanks.
Now get mounted, Jesse. We've still got a long ride.
Goodbye.
Bye, son. Good luck.
You hunt buffalo, don't you?
I do. It's kind of hard without a partner.
That's your Sharp's rifle leaning on that pack over there?
Well, of course it is.
Mister, why don't you get a good pistol like mine here, see?
Huh?
No. No! Oh. Bill! What? You killed him.
Sure. He ain't no use to anybody.
You shot him. For nothing, right in the face.
Sure, I shot him.
But he was a nice old fella. Why'd you do it?
Listen, Jesse. You want to be a gunman. I'm learning you how, right?
What's that got to do with this?
You're going to be a gunman, you got to get used to killing people. I was just showing you how easy it is.
No. I'm learning to handle the gun so I can kill one man when I find him. One man, that's all. I don't like just shooting people down.
Get used to it. Come on, let's ride. Get him.
I got another one, Mr. Dillon. Look at him.
Yeah, he's a good one, Chester.
Bigger than any you caught, I'll bet you.
I'm sure he is. I haven't caught any.
Not one?
I haven't even wet a line, Chester. Sometimes fishing's fun because you don't even have to fish.
You mean I've been doing all the work while you was just sitting here on the bank watching the river?
And enjoying myself. Did you catch enough for supper?
If I throw half of them back, there won't be.
Now, don't be muley, Chester. Next time I'll do the fishing and you can be lazy.
Tomorrow?
All right, tomorrow.
What's that?
Sounds like somebody practicing. Now, let's take a look, huh?
Seems like he's right there behind that little bluster. I wonder who he is.
I don't know. But if he was trying for speed, he needs a lot of practice.
Well, maybe he was concentrating on accuracy, the way you always tell me to do.
Hello?
He looks pretty young.
Yeah. Well, I see your target's still standing.
That's just a whiskey bottle. If it had been a man, he wouldn't be standing.
If it'd been a man, he'd be shooting back, too.
You're a stranger around here, ain't you, fella?
Any law against strangers?
No, I was just commenting.
Got here yesterday.
Well, go ahead, son. We just wanted to watch you practice.
My name ain't Son. It's Jesse.
Oh? Well, go ahead, Jesse.
All right. Watch this draw.
That was pretty close.
Not close enough. Not fast enough, either.
That's all right for an average man.
I aim to do better than average, mister.
Oh, why?
I'm going to kill a man, that's why.
Who you going to kill?
I don't know yet. But I'll find him.
Why you going to kill him?
That's my business, mister.
Sure. But if you're planning to kill anybody around here, let me show you what might happen.
What do you mean?
You see that little daisy about 30 feet over the top of your bottle there?
Yeah, I see it.
All right. Well?
I never saw anything like that before. Would you teach me, mister?
Not as long as you want to kill somebody, Jesse. Come on, Chester.
I suppose we ought to ask Doc to eat these catfish with us, Mr. Dillon.
You caught him, Chester. It's your party.
I think I will. Well, say, there's a letter for us, sir.
Oh?
Old Jax must have brought it over. I plumb forgot to pick up the mail this morning. Is it important, Mr. Dillon?
No, not particularly. It's from Luke Short. He's sheriff now down in Amarillo. Says one of Quantrill's old men's headed back to Kansas, maybe to start bushwhacking again. Well, not much I can do about that.
What's his name?
Stapp. I never heard of him.
No, I never heard of him neither. Well, hello, Doc.
Hello, Chester.
Doc.
Do you men want to have a small beer with me?
Well, I better take care of my fish if we're going to have them for supper. You're invited, Doc.
Well, thank you, Chester. I'll be there, sure. Well, how about you, Matt? Want a beer?
Okay, Doc, I'll go with you.
Well, now, don't forget supper.
We won't.
Bye, Chester.
Oh, just think, Matt, another couple of months and it'll be nice and cool. Flies will be gone. And there won't be any more trail herds to speak of. Oh, and life can settle down some.
What would you call settling down for this town, Doc?
More broken legs, fewer gunshot wounds.
Well, I like that idea.
2 beers, Sam.
There he is, Bill. That's the man I told you about.
Oh, hello, Jesse.
Hello. He's awful fast, Bill. About the fastest I ever saw.
You're the marshal here, ain't you, mister?
I am.
The marshal? Well, no wonder.
Marshals can be killed just like anybody else, Jesse. Ain't that right, Marshal?
Yeah, that's right.
Here's your beer, Matt.
Oh, thanks, Doc.
Hey, now. There's a pretty girl just came in.
She sure is. Golly.
Oh, it's Kitty, Matt.
Yeah, I see her.
Jesse, stay right here a minute.
Buy you a drink, Marshal.
No, thanks, Jesse. 1 beer's my limit this time of day. Some other time, huh?
Okay.
I take it you haven't found the man you were planning to kill.
I'll find him.
Do you know killing's against the law, Jesse?
The law didn't stop him from killing my pa.
Your pa? Who killed your pa?
I don't know. I keep telling you.
Well, then how do you know he was killed?
A couple of fellows who'd been up here said they saw him buried out on that boot hill of yours. Somebody must have killed him.
When was this? Well, what was his name?
Name was Pruitt. Same as mine, of course. And nobody can kill a Pruitt and get by with it. That's what my pa always said.
You always do what your pa said?
I'm doing it now, ain't I?
Well, you haven't killed anyone yet, Jesse. Now, when you do, you'll probably hang for it.
Who says I will?
The law.
So?
Look, Jesse, remember what your friend said about how marshals can be killed just like anybody else?
Sure I do.
Well, it's true. But there's one thing he didn't mention. It mostly depends on how good the man is who's trying to kill a marshal. You remember that?
Matt.
Hello, Kitty.
Doc. Oh, how are you, Kitty?
Well, what's the trouble?
That friend of yours you sent over.
What?
Here he comes now.
Him? I don't even know him.
He said you told him my name and to come over and buy me a drink.
Well, he's lying.
He's worse than I thought.
No offense, Marshal. Just a way of getting acquainted. Heard you fellas mention her name.
They never heard of you, mister. Not that it'd matter.
Just wanted to buy you a drink, Kitty.
Is that how you offer a lady a drink? You must have been raised in a chicken coop.
Oh, my, the things you run into when you just step out of the sun for a nice cool glass of beer.
You haven't been in the sun for months, Doc, so keep quiet.
Well, you're right, Kitty. I told a lie. I just thought maybe it'd help matters some if I sort of spoke lightly.
Well, it won't.
Now, look, Kitty, there's no reason to stay mad. Here, then, I'll buy everybody a drink. Will that make it okay?
Oh, men. I'm leaving.
Well, how about you, Doc?
No.
Marshal,
Look,
Why don't you do your drinking somewhere else?
Huh?
You're only making trouble here.
Oh. Too good to drink with me, huh?
Are you calling it, mister?
I offered you a drink, that's all.
And I refused it. Now get out of here.
Seen friendlier town.
Then maybe you better go back to him.
Oh, come on, Stap.
Shut up, Jesse.
Well, you don't want to fight with him.
Shut up, that's all. Oh, come on, let's go.
I didn't mean nothing.
Knock your ears off.
Oh, that's a charming man. Oh, he's a real gentleman. You shouldn't run a fine man like that out of Dodge, Matt.
I didn't, Doc.
I know. You started to, and then you stopped. Why?
The kid spoke up just in time. I didn't know his name was Stapp. I'd like to keep an eye on him.
Oh, I see. What about that boy, Jesse? You really think his father was killed here?
It happened while you were in St. Louis last winter, Doc. He was killed here, all right.
Is that so? Oh, yes. Then there will be trouble. Who killed him, Matt?
I did, Doc. I killed him.
Well, now, next time, try and catch the fish smaller, Chester. They make better eating.
You know, if I was getting a free meal, Doc, I'd be mighty careful of my manners. I'd figure if I appeared grateful enough for whatever I was fed, I just might get asked back sometime.
Oh, that just shows how cheap some men can be had, Chester.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I've done all the work so far, and I ain't going to clean up this mess.
Well, Doc's a good dishwasher, Chester. You ever seen him wipe his instruments on that old rag he's got?
Oh, Doc's a good dishwasher.
I may be busy, Doc.
Oh, yes, that's right, Matt.
You think there'll be trouble, Mr. Dillon?
Well, there are a lot of men around Dodge who'll remember who killed Jesse Pruitt's father when he starts asking questions.
Maybe it'd be a good idea to get that Stapp out of the way first. Why don't you go arrest him?
I'd only have to turn him loose later.
It'd be a pity for her to shoot a young man like Jesse, Matt. Seems awful somehow.
I don't like the idea any better than you do, Doc.
It looks to me like Stapp's got a lot to do with this. Whatever he's got in mind...
Chester, it's hard to say what's in the mind of a man like Stapp. I figure him for nothing but a killer. Pure and simple. Just a killer.
Yes, but you backed him down this afternoon, Matt.
I didn't say he's a gunman, Doc. A gunman will take his chances. I doubt if Stapp will. Open it, Chester. And stand out of the way.
Yes, sir.
Yes, well, I'm getting out of the way, too.
Oh, Mr. Hightower.
Hello, Chester.
Come in.
Thank you. Sorry to bother you, gentlemen.
Oh, well, how are you,
Mr. Hightower, won't you sit down?
No, thanks, Marshal. I'm on my way home, and I'm late now. Just came by to tell you something.
No?
Yes. You see, it's this way. When I close my printing shop of an evening, I generally stop at the Alfraganza for a little drink or two. Never more than two, though.
Oh, I've seen you take more than two.
Never mind, Doc.
That could be, Doc. It could be, but only on a Saturday evening. You see, my wife waits supper a little later on a Saturday evening.
Oh, she sure does.
Doc, why don't you get busy with the dishes, huh? Well, go ahead, Mr. Hightower. What is it you wanted to tell me?
Well, I was in the Alfraganza this evening, and I heard a couple of men, that is, a man and a rather young man, they were next to me at the bar there. I heard them talking.
Now, go on.
Well, the young man, Marshal, his name was Pruitt. Now, I hate to say it, but he's gunning for the man who shot his father last winter.
Yeah, I know all about it, Mr. Hightower. Has you found out that I did it yet?
That's what I came to tell you, Marshal. The other man, I don't know his name, he's in there getting young Pruitt drunk. And he's telling him that he'll back him up when the time comes.
When the time comes?
Well, the way I see it is that as soon as Pruitt gets his courage up on liquor, this other man's going to tell him who shot his father, and then they're both coming after you.
I see. And you think he knows I did it, huh?
Oh, yes, definitely. Yes, I do. I can sense those things, Marshal. It was very clear.
Well, thanks, Mr. Hightower. I appreciate your coming here.
Not at all, Marshal. I'd better get along home now. Sorry to be a bearer of bad tidings, Marshal.
Yeah, that's all right, Mr. Hightower. Don't you worry about it.
Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Good night. What are you going to do, Matt?
Well, there's only one thing I can do, Doc. Go down there and put a stop to this if it isn't too late.
I'm coming with you, Mr. Dillon.
All right, Chester. But stay out of it.
Yes, sir.
Wait here, Chester.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Jesse.
Well, it's the Marshal again. Have a drink, Marshal.
No thanks, Jesse.
Marshal is pretty choosy who he drinks with, kid.
Yeah, I am. But I'll have a drink with you tomorrow, Jesse.
No, not tomorrow. We won't be friends tomorrow.
Why not?
Stapp knows who killed my pa. He's going to tell me pretty soon.
Stapp's no good, Jesse. He just wants to see somebody killed. Either you or me.
You or me?
That's right. I killed your father.
What?
Now, you've seen me, Jesse. You know you can't beat me, so don't try it.
That true, Stapp? He killed my pa?
He's the man you're after, Jesse. That's him. That's him, all right. Go ahead, kid. He's standing right there in front of you.
Don't try it, Jesse. Stapp won't back you up. He's been lying to you.
No, he hadn't. And you can't get both of us.
Yes, I can get both of you, and Stapp knows it.
Go on ahead, Jesse. He killed your pa. This is your chance. Now, go on.
Killed my pa. All right, Marshal.
No, Jesse. All right, don't move, Stapp.
I ain't moved, Marshal.
No, of course you haven't.
Everything all right, Mr. Dillon?
Now, get Jesse's gun, Chester. Then throw him in jail.
Yes, sir.
Stapp, I'll give you 1 hour to leave Dodge.
I ain't done nothing.
And when you leave Dodge, leave Kansas. And don't come back. Ever.
Jesse's feeling better now, Mr. Dillon.
Oh, good. I want to talk to him. Unlock his cell, will you, Chester?
Yes, sir.
How are you, Jesse?
What do you care?
You're lucky I didn't have to shoot you.
You shot my pa.
Yeah, I shot your pa. I want to tell you why. I don't know how you remember your pa, Jesse, but when I ran into him, he wasn't much good.
You can talk like that now.
He was a killer, just like Stapp. A killer and a coward.
That's a lie.
You can ask most anybody in town. There were plenty of witnesses.
Witnesses to what?
Your pa shot a woman, Jesse. He was drunk, and he put a bullet right in her face at the bar of the Longhorn. And he ran out and jumped on a horse. I tried to wing him, but I missed, and I killed him.
That true?
That's true.
I don't believe it.
When did you last see your pa, Jesse?
5, 6 years, I guess.
And what was he like then?
What do you mean?
Was he the kind of a man who'd shoot a woman?
I don't know, Marshal. He wasn't that mean.
How come he left home?
Ma. She made him go.
Why?
He'd get drunk and beat her. She finally drove him off the place.
Well,
It's kind of hard to believe your own pa's no good.
there are a lot of men who are no good, Jesse. Stapp's another one.
Stapp?
Did you ever see Stapp face a man who had an equal chance? He didn't even touch his gun tonight here. He never intended to.
No, I guess he didn't, did he? I hadn't thought about that.
He just wanted to see someone killed. I think Stapp likes killings, Jesse. He likes to see people die.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. He sure does, Marshal. Like that old man, that hunter out on the prairie.
What?
He was a nice old fella. Gave us some meat. And then Stapp just shot him. Right in the face. The way Pa shot that woman.
When was this?
Just before we got to Dodge. About 30 miles up the river.
Did you like his doing that, Jesse?
No. No, I didn't. I hated it.
Well, what do you think of Stapp now?
I guess he's no good, like you say.
He'll be all right, Jesse. Chester?
Yes, sir?
I'm going after Stapp. Wait here.
Yes, sir.
Where did you leave your horses, Jesse?
Okay, Corral.
Hello, Pete.
Are you, Marshal?
I'm looking for a man, Pete. He might be in your stables.
There's a man in there, Marshal.
Do you know him?
Stranger. Been here a couple of days. Rode in with a young fellow.
That's him.
He's saddling up. Last stall on the left. Going to be a fight, Marshal?
I don't know, Pete. But you better take cover.
I sure will. You bet I will.
Who's that?
It's Marshal Dillon, Stapp.
I'm leaving town. What do you want now?
Jesse told me about the hunter you shot on the prairie.
Jesse told you?
Yeah.
Well, he's lying. He's just a kid, Marshal. You ain't going to believe him.
I believe him, Stapp.
Jesse shot him. That's why he's lying.
No, Jesse didn't shoot him, Stapp. I'm arresting you for murder.
No, I ain't going to hang, Marshal. No, I can't hang.
Easy, Stapp. You'll get a fair trial.
No, I can't hang. No. No, I'll die here.
Hold it! Well, there's your gun, Jesse.
I don't want it, Marshal.
Wait. You sure?
I'm through with guns.
What'd you pay for it, Jesse?
$10.
$10. All right, I'll buy it. Here.
I could use the money, all right.
Well, take it.
Well, thank you, Marshal. You know where I could get a job?
Yeah, I think so, Jesse. Why don't you go see Frank Snyder out at the L.O.? It's on the Pawnee, straight north of here. Tell him I sent you.
All right, I will. Next time I come to Dodge, Marshal, probably in a few months, could I buy you that drink?
Well, you just look me up, Jesse. Anytime.
Thank you, Marshal.